and make sure that we're good. All the places that we're supposed to be good. So I see
Mm,
us.
good in YouTube. Well, we're not showing anything yet, but
Should be coming
people
online.
people are there.
So I see.
Okay, there we go.
Okay. Give it some time for folks. Yep, I see them tuning in. All right. Let's go ahead and
I wish we could see who the Facebook people are.
Well,
oh
that's
yeah, that's always an
fun to
issue.
go into Facebook. Yeah.
All right. Right. We are live. It is 2023. We're back in the mix. What is going on, everybody? If you're watching us, if you're seeing us,
What's up?
let us know what's up. Let us know where you're watching us from. Let us know your branch of service. Let us know the years that you served. So we are on Facebook. We are on YouTube. We are on TikTok. We are across a few places. So let us know what's up. Let us know hey, and we'll kind of go from there. So as folks kind of tune on in, feel free to share the live. We have a bunch of stuff we want to talk about and share. So as we kind of kick all of that off, I think it's cool to begin to introduce ourselves. So I'll start by saying my name is DP, founder of Veterans Network Champions Club, and I get the privilege of spending some great moments with the amazing folks here that you see with us. So I'm excited for that. And I get to kick it over to Brian, who was not with us last time, so he can kind of kick off the year the right way. So I'm going to kick it over to Brian.
Thank you. Yes, I have to admit, I was watching the last FNL in a drug-induced stupor, and it really made the show really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to say, I didn't know that people's heads would wave like that, but it was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
What a way to finish the year! But hey, I'm glad to be back. It's awesome that we're now in 2023. I love it, and Yeah, I'm excited. So Brian Lofton, disabled Army vet and lead benefits advisor here, just hanging and vibing with
I
my
love it.
brothers and sisters.
So over to our other co-host who's with us today in the middle, because I don't want no beef. We have one of our amazing veterans.
Oh,
She is an
hold on
air.
just a second.
Oh
Hold on
Lord.
just a second. Vanessa, I just want you to hear this real quick.
Oh no. I don't know what is happening, but I don't like it already.
Yeah, so it's my son's sweetheart of a girlfriend, and I was trying to explain to her that I was internet famous, and I don't think she believes me, so I just wanted to make sure that she hears
Oh
my internet.
sweet Lord. Well, if that's the route that we're going down, I guess. Goodness gracious. So coming at us from the great state of Colorado, she hails as an Air Force veteran. She's one of our lead benefit advisors. She has a moniker that goes along the lines of all that she does is win. And apparently, she got someone to make an intro song for her. So we'll give her that. With us, it is Amy Lacey.
Yes, thank you. I am Lacey, Air Force. From 2000 to 2011, I was dental. And I've been in this space for about 3 years. Happy to be here. Thank you to everybody that is here and joining us. And special shout out to all those behind the scenes that make this happen for us, like my song that we just played. So I'm thankful for everybody showing up tonight and hanging with us for a little bit, and just happy to be here.
Awesome. So a lot of great stuff happening. Let's bring up some of the comments and say what's up. We'll read some of the ones that we can't see or bring up just because of the way it works. So on the TikTok side of the house, we have Hospitality in Motion, 13 Bravo, 13 Fox, 95 Bravo in the building. Daniel James Moore, USMC, 8 years. We got Master Chief, Oklahoma, half the register for the OKVA. Let's see. We got Hospitality Nations, BCT, Fort Sill, Antonio, 01 Rand. Let's see, is what's up? And let's see, we got Justin, USMC, 11 years currently in Army, 4 years and counting. So just because of that, of course, because of the fact that you're on the Army side of the house, we got to give you one of those there. So there's that part. So everybody has their own little theme song thing. So there's that part. On the interweb side of the house, we have one of our OGs with us. We got Jerry in the comment sections coming at us from YouTube. Navy 66 to 79.
Yes.
Vietnam, currently waiting decisions for his TDIU from Greensboro, North Carolina. So let's see. We got Lisa in the building saying what's up. She's also hailing
Hey,
from us
Lisa.
from Colorado, which will be where we'll be for the next Friday Night Live. So we'll talk about that. This one here that is nameless is actually Miranda. Yo, coming at us from the Facebook group. So as you see the Facebook group, it kind of hides the name, but we can still see kind of who you are. So that's that part. We got our celestial brother in the building, Reggie, floating around. So we'll put him kind of right behind there, floating around Amy. So there's that part. We got Austin William in the building, Navy 78 to 98, 100% PNT, hailing from Killeen, Texas. We have Lisa 2.0 second version actually it's in her name, so there's that part. So but Lisa Chase is in the building. Hey y'all, happy Friday. And of course it wouldn't be a party unless we had Capri in the building. So Capri is in the building. Evening wild people.
2 times in a row we get
Don't get
complete.
used to it though.
Oh,
Do not
wow.
make it don't think it's a
Yes.
comeback. Army
It's a
81
comeback.
to 88. Hoorah. Let's see here. Good evening, everyone. Ready and watching. We'll be listening. Various topics. Welcome back, Brian. Hope you're feeling much better from the last time. We'll do a check to see the name on that one, just because of the way the private group does it.
That's the VNCC grandmother.
There it is. Well, there it is. There it is. Just because it had no name. That is my mother-in-law. So there's that part. So show me what you do for fun or a living. I do this, and my mother-in-law tunes in. So there's that part. So it is a family affair in more ways than one.
Have you gotten her shirt?
It's on the way.
Okay.
It's
A grandma via.
on the way. She's currently in Canada, so she's in transit home. So she'll have a package waiting for her when she gets home. She's not one to rock hoodies too much, but she's gonna rock the ones coming. So there's that part. We got our brother George Power in the building. Glad to have you on my side. We're glad to be on your side.
Yes.
Let's see. So again, because it's a family affair, we go now to my brother-in-law, who's on the other side of the house. If you got some issues with credit and things like that, stand by. That's a whole nother conversation that we're going to have, but he does wonders on the credit side of the house. Ron is in the building, Navy veteran. Mighty Navy is in the house. So we always try to make a point to see who we get and who's popping up. So there's that part. So Navy is in the building. Capri says DP, Brian, and Fly Girl. What is up? We have Tiffany in the building. From
What's up, Tiffany?
Yes, from Medal of Honor podcast, and from our OG days in Clubhouse, Charleston, South Carolina, in the house.
Didn't you say you just had who did
General
she just
Petraeus.
have? Yeah.
General Petraeus. So go check that out.
That's awesome.
So there's that part there. She literally had a sit down with someone you may have known. So, double points because of the fact that, of course, it's Army General Petraeus. So
Right.
I'm just putting it out there. We got Sandy Blake in the building, Navy SH3. Nayeli help us to decipher these codes. On the TikTok side of the house, we got Kevin Barn, Purple Heart, USMC vet, 80% mechanical heart valve from the VA, PTSD, tinnitus, denied some increases, so we'll talk about it a little bit. We have Nayeli popping in on the TikTok side of the house, answering some questions too. So we'll make sure, obviously, we're kind of monitoring all the comms, so we're multitasking.
I completely forgot about our TikTok family is joining us this time.
Yeah.
Yes. What do you think the chances are of getting Nayeli on the live in Colorado?
Well, it's actually not a bad. The chances are pretty good, because we're going to be in person. So the fact that there'll be like a mob effect, she won't be able to cross that border and get away from us. So she's we just put a wall around her and she'll be stuck in front of the camera.
Yeah, we're gonna have to figure that out somehow.
It's
gonna happen. So then you guys will finally get to see Nayeli on a live.
She's popped up sometimes, not too much times, but sometimes.
She did that one time. I guess she did jump on.
Yeah. Let's see. A few more that have popped in. Just kind of read them all. We got Drank Short, USMC 02 to 22. Yep. Hailing from the USMC. Let's see here. Antonio, what's going on? I have worked with DP for many years. We go back to fam days. For many years, and he is an amazing person. Trust him. Thank you, Antonio. I owe you $5. Let's see. Great. So we're going to be answering some questions. We're going to talk about some of the things that we have going on the TikTok side of the house. Give it some likes because we're answering questions. We're doing stuff. We're giving value. And the price of that is literally just clicking the likes. So share it because the algorithm likes it. We're spending some time here on a Friday night with our vets. So, kick back, relax. We're on YouTube as well. So if you want your name to pop up on the screen, pop up on YouTube as well. You can do that. The link's on my bio, same username, so you'll see us live there as well. But we can now finally go live both on TikTok and Instagram and Facebook and all these different places. So that's what's pretty cool. We got MG Steele in the building. Hello from Savannah, Georgia. Army 80 to 84. Frank is in the building. Some of the best crayons that you can eat from the Marine Corps side of the house. I got some on my desk. I'll bring some to Colorado. So there's that part. But Frank, the creator of Crayons Ready to Eat. So if you guys haven't checked that out, check him. He's on YouTube and on TikTok. So check him in those places. So we have a lot of stuff going on. New year, new goals. We're answering questions. We have classes. We have things that are happening. Let's see, Doria, how do you get a better percentage from the Army? We're going to answer all that. Kick back, relax. It's a little bit of everything going on. But answers are going as well in different places. Anybody win the lottery? No, not on this side. Because what would you do, Amy, if you won the lottery? Let's ask that question.
Oh, goodness. What would I do?
Would you still be here
I
on
would
Friday Night Live?
I would be. I think I probably wouldn't tell anybody, and because I would just, yeah, I definitely wouldn't want to tell my kids. I think I would just, keep it to myself and invest, and I don't think I would change much. I would hope
Mm-hmm.
that I would not change. I don't think I would.
I don't
I would
think you
hope
would,
that I would.
honestly.
Yeah.
I think that, like money and success amplifies what you already are. So
Mhm.
if you're a giving person, I think you'll just give some more. If you do good, I think you'll do more good. If you're stingy, you'll be stingier. If you're an a-hole, you'll be a bigger a-hole.
Yeah. So I don't.
So,
Yeah.
but if you
That's
have,
why
well,
it would
okay, so you
be
win the lotto,
stressful.
though, and you have the ability to do kind of, one of the first things you can do, treat yourself. What do you do?
I know this sounds crazy, but the first thing that came to mind was buying a bigger vehicle.
Well, you got to get
Like
around.
a Suburban or something, because I've been wanting one for a long time. Just, the kids are bigger, and just to have more room, like, to travel. I don't really do planes. That's a
Mm-hmm.
lot for me. So I think it'd be fun to take like a cool vacation to
Mm-hmm.
like the beach. Like, we were just talking about that. I was talking about that with one of my daughters the other day. Like, where would you go if you could go anywhere? And she said, I think she said Paris or France or something. And I was like, oh my God, that's a long plane ride.
Mm. Mm.
But like, just something like on a beach or something where it felt like super tropical and just relaxing, and truly relax and disconnect, without having to think about anything. So I think that money could solve some problems in the sense that you're not worrying,
Mm-hmm.
about some things or whatever. And so being able to totally turn off and just relax and
Mm-hmm.
chill and enjoy it. One thing I think that has been on my bucket list that I would love to do is swim with the dolphins.
That's a good
So I might
experience.
do that. So yeah, I saw that you've done that, but
Mm-hmm.
I think it would be fun. And so being able to do something like that would be cool.
Yeah, I think that'd be a great experience. I'm not gonna act like I did all the swimming with the dolphins. I'd say that the kids did more swimming with the dolphins. I was just
Did
trying not to
didn't you
drown. I was in
didn't
the
you
water
swim?
with the damn dolphins and stuff, but I wasn't sitting here
Yeah.
trying to do too much. Now let's not get crazy.
Oh,
I
okay.
like my feet on land. So
Did you like hold on to the fin and like
mm-mm,
actually
find somebody
swim?
else to do it. Mm-mm,
Oh.
mm-mm. No, no. I was watching the kids do that stuff. My job was to get the kids there. Oh, that
Did
whole
Joe
push
do it?
me, hold the nose. Nah, I
Yeah,
want no
yeah,
parts of
yeah.
that evil.
Did Joe
Mm-mm.
do it?
Yeah, she did. They did that, and my job was like, look, I was just enjoying seeing them do those things. I wanted no parts of that demon. Mm-mm. I didn't
I
trust
think
it.
that would be cool.
I was
I
like, nah,
actually
this
heard.
dolphin right now is all safe and dandy, but the minute it sees, my freaking humpback whale ass in there, it'd be like, nope, not dragging you.
That,
I don't
yes,
get paid enough for this.
there was a movie that came out. I can't think, something Paradise with Julia Roberts and I think George Clooney, and we were watching it, and they went to go swim with the dolphin, and the dolphin like attacked the George Clooney.
Mm-hmm.
It was, but I heard, I don't know if this is true or not, but I heard that. So if I won the lottery, if I could go, and it doesn't even have to be a new Suburban, just something like bigger, but and then I could drive to Vegas. I heard that there's a hotel there that's like replicates like a beach where it has sand and stuff, and it has like a spa and all that kind of stuff. So we could in the water, so we could
Mm-hmm.
feel like we were there. And I heard that there is a place that you can swim with dolphins in Vegas, so that could be a quick drive. Yeah,
Yeah,
just
I think that there's a lot of great places to go. Let's see, a few people actually put some answers also. So Drank, Shorty 83 said he'd go to Africa and he would invest in some land. So there's that part. So he's investing in land
Africa
and
would
he's
be
going to
cool.
Africa. So there's that part.
That would be cool.
Brian, what do you do on your side of the house? if you win the lotto? Just because of the question. Like, it's always people talk about it, even if you're not into it. It's one of those things where for the weekend everybody's excited about it, and then Monday it's like, well, we didn't win. Guess we're going back to normal, back to work.
Yeah.
What are you doing on your side of the house, Brian? Oh, you're muted still.
There we go.
There we
I
go.
was coughing earlier, so I was trying to spare everybody the noise. But no, I do have a giving heart. So the first thing I would do is I would get the bumper fixed on my wife's 2013 Jeep Compass,
Okay.
and then I would buy myself a brand new Cadillac Escalade. But
Oh,
I
I'd
like
make
how
sure
the
my
bumper
wife
got
was
fixed,
taken
and
care
then
of
Brian got
first.
himself a brand new Escalade.
No, I like how he preferenced it with that he has a giving heart. I was like, you know what? I was gonna go there first. I was gonna think about all the things that I would try to do, like the different. I was gonna go there, but then I was like, no. And then Brian was going there, and I was like, oh, he went there, and but that's what he responded with. I love it. Like, thank you, Brian, because I absolutely love how thoughtful you are.
Mm-hmm.
You thought the first thing you thought about was your wife's bumper.
Hey, I want
Nayeli
to make
said,
sure
I have a
everything's
beach.
fixed before I get my brand new Cadillac. That's all I got to say.
Nayeli says she has
Uh,
a beach at home, Amy. If we would have a meetup here in Texas, you'd find out how good I guess that is.
So
That's
okay,
fake,
so I will
fake
tell
news. I
you,
don't believe it.
For Nayali, I did get on a plane. No, for her daughter more, but really for Nayali and her daughter, I did get on a plane,
Don't
and it
don't
was
don't encourage her.
yeah. So I did do that. I think that's like one of two times I've flown in probably 10 years, maybe 8 years. Yeah, I know. I know.
Not a fan. Back to,
I've been known to I think there's been at least three, maybe four. One of them was to Alaska. I bought the plane ticket, had the plans, had the reservations, didn't have that good feeling,
mhm.
and I didn't go. In fact, yes, and it was like I just had that weird feeling, and I was like, "Oh, you know what? I think this is a sign I'm not going to go." And just um it kind of unfortunately it sort of ruined one of my friendships with one of my best friends cuz she was pretty upset that I didn't come, but yeah, I
Um,
just freaked out.
so I'll tell you what. I don't know what is going on. But there is just too much negativities in your story, Amy. We have to switch this around. We need some positivity.
No, it's not negative. No, it's
You
positive.
just
That was
said you
so
just lost a
positive.
friendship.
Oh, well, yeah, I did. But was it a true friend if they did that? I don't know. I mean, she was. I think
Mm,
yeah, I don't know. I was she knew my anxiety. She knew that I had a fear, and like that was a big trip to go,
mm-hmm.
and it was going to be leaving. It was going to be taking Quincy, but leaving um my girls, and that would be like the first time I had ever left them, and Nia was only like barely one. And so I think that was part of it is I had a lot of anxiety about that too,
Mm-hmm.
and so I just couldn't do it. I was smart because I actually didn't tell Quincy about the trip, and so I
Mm.
had kept it to myself, and then I was like, you know what, I can't do it. And but
well,
I'm
I want I want to let you know that not only would I do that for my wife, but I would also let her take an extended vacation from her night job, because I think that would help her be more rested for her day job as well. So
Mm-hmm.
it's,
what?
this is
Okay, so what is her night job? What are you the day job or the night job? Like, is there part? Is that is taking a break from you, or what are you trying to say?
I'm a 24/7 job.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah. Um, let's see real quickly. Doris, on your side, if you click on TikTok, go to my profile, hit the IG button. That'll take you to our new VNCC IG page and send us a message there, and we'll square you all away as we're answering questions. If you have VA claim questions, we're answering those as well. So we'll read those as they kind of come up as well, as we're kind of catching up. So just kind of putting that out there. Dave Bez he won the lotto. I mean, rather he's gone to Africa. He's bought some land. We have Austin, who's invested, creates a charity to help homeless veterans. So there's that part,
That
which
would
is pretty
be
cool.
actually amazing. And have you heard of the thing that I don't know if they did it or they were gonna do it or there's something where they have like this. a block for
Mm-hmm.
people that have Alzheimer's,
Yeah.
and they've built like a little city for like people that have Alzheimer's to be able to keep them like in an area, but they still feel like they're out in society and something like that. There was somebody that I can't think of her name on Instagram that actually did something for vets where she did the mailboxes or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
The bricks, I think it would be super cool to do like a community like that for veterans, for homeless veterans to be able to have like a cool block where they have, their own like rooms and they can have their mailbox so they can get their
Mm-hmm.
mail and stuff like that. That's a good one. That Austin, yep, that was a good one.
Nayeli's trying to copy you too. She said, same. Always wanted to do the same. If I won the lotto, I would open a homeless shelter with a program to give back. So there's that part.
That's
Well,
And then
awesome.
since
so I
obviously
just
is
want to
agreeing
let
with
y'all know
Caddy.
that the third thing that I would do that I'm done. So the third thing I'd do is I'd make sure that all my friends and family, including y'all, so I would make sure that everybody has a brand new house and a new car. And that way, whenever I'm broke because I will have no more money left, I'll be able to stay with everybody as I go around.
This is a good point. You just got to make sure we give the right people the information as far. I mean, rather we take care of the right people to make sure that we can actually crash with them. So
That's
as long
right.
as that's taken care of, I think that we'll be good.
I'm good with
Um,
couch surfing with, yeah, absolutely. But yeah, you
so
have to
That
sign
would be
a
fun.
waiver.
So let's get a little more, I guess, tangible because obviously no one's won the lottery, and all these great ideas seem to just be pipe dreams that are not happening. So let's talk a little bit about what we actually plan to do. And again, not so much affirmation, not so much like resolutions, because I don't really jive with that too much. But I do think that having at least some affirmations and some intentions for the year, I think it's a pretty cool thing. So Nayeli said that's rude, so there's that part there. In about 10 mics, we're gonna start hitting some questions. So if you have VA claim related questions, put those in the chat. On the TikTok side of the house, we have a rule. It's a like situation. You have to hit the likes. You have to share the button. And we're also testing it because we're live streaming it. Fun fact: if you stream it this way, TikTok tends to suppress the views. But if I did it on my phone, there'd be more views. It's the weirdest thing, but it is what it is.
Hmm.
That being said and done, want to find out what are some of the things that we're endeavoring to do for this year. So if you're watching, let us know kind of what are some of the things you're looking forward to. On my side, my spouse was pretty supportive and got me one of the walking treadmills that I put under my desk. So I did not die. There's that part, which is pretty cool. And I think yesterday, the goal is if I can walk as much as I talk, you won't recognize me here before long. So we'll see how long that goes. But it was pretty cool, had it under the desk. So trying to get a little more active because we do so much stuff virtual, which is kind of crazy. So we have a lot happening. We're kicking off our next Friday Night Live. We're all going to be in Colorado in one place. So even though it looks like we're together, we're not. We're literally Virginia, Colorado, and Oklahoma. So now we're going to have the entire crew with us. So that's going to be amazing. And we're also having two of our VNCC members. So we're all part of Veterans Network Champions Club. We work with veterans in a variety of different ways, and we also have been doing this show for many, many years. So here we're answering questions, we're doing VA stuff, but we're really just looking to spend some time with our veterans, on a day like today. We realize that it's not really for me about the views when it comes to this. We'll answer questions, we'll do stuff, but really it's about just holding space and knowing that, there's a lot of negativity out there sometimes, sadly, right? With the way the world's going on. We have veterans that have reached out and it's like, look, I just look forward to hanging out with y'all for a few hours on a Friday night because I don't have anyone else around me. And I think the fact that that's really the intention that we've had for literally at this point, we're almost going on like 4 years of hosting these shows like this. It's really about just holding space, right? So it's a little bit tongue in cheek and just kind of, a bunch of veterans just sharing, hanging out. Yes, we do help veterans and answer questions about VA claims and all those different things. That's kind of what we're known for. But it's more than that. We want to create a lot of different things. So as this year begins to kick off, there's a lot of great things that we have in the pipeline that we want to share. Anybody that's watching us, if you want to be a part of what we're doing, you can join our club. And there's different ways to do that, right? Follow us, right? Just tune in, join the things that we're doing. It's free to join. It's literally, one of those things where, like right now, we're answering questions and we're giving out content and we're showing up because we care and it matters. And we'll be showing some of the different things that we're going to be showcasing here soon as far as new offerings for veterans. So that's something that I'm excited to be able to share here in a few. And of course, we're always going to be answering questions. So if you have your questions, feel free to type them. We will be answering those as well. But for 2023, I'm really excited for the new things that we're doing. We want to invite you all to join us for the things that we're hosting and putting together. And we hope you share it with a friend and some other veterans who might need these things that we're putting together. So I'm excited for the gathering again in 2 weeks with our folks, because it's kind of like our yearly thing that we do in January at this point, not in Texas, but in Colorado. So there's that part. But being able to even have some of our veterans that we've helped along the way, that's amazing. So really excited for that. Let's see. How do I go ahead and ban Austin for bringing negativity towards me right now? Because look, I did a lot of walking earlier. I'm mess around. It'd be the one time, like, oh, look at him walking.
So I have to say, this is so funny. When DP told me this, I turned the camera around and I was like, that's funny that you got a treadmill, because, we all work virtual, right? And so we're at home. And I said, it's funny that you got a treadmill and I literally got a desk that goes over my bed. So I don't even have to get out of my bed. So I turned it and it's like, it's the coolest thing. It goes all the way across my bed and I can just wheel it. When I'm done, I can wheel it to the end and push it over to the side. I don't even have to get out of bed.
No comment. See that? And I have a better microphone than you, so there's that part. We have a war of the mics, so there's that part. This is coming with us in Colorado. So let's see. Rashad is in the building, 22 years, retired, PNT now. Why did I switch to move? Quite frankly, because I chose to start my own organization that was just more aligned with my own goals and what I wanted to do. So we're doing more than claims. We're doing personal development. We're doing business. And we're also, one of the things we're talking about today is a lot of things in technology. So the Big Three basketball league is kicking off this year. So last year, we actually sent a lot of veterans to games. So because of our fractional ownership in the Big Three via NFT technology and things like that, that's something that we're going to be leveraging this year as well. And we're also going to be talking about some cool things we're going to be helping our veterans with. So the talk of the town is ChatGPT, artificial intelligence, and all that. Well, you guys are in luck because I also happen to have a few advanced degrees in cyber technology and digital stuff. So we're all over that. So y'all will be the recipients of a lot of good things coming even in that side of the house. So there's that part. Let's see, Sandy, I see your question.
You didn't tell us what you would do if you won the lottery.
More of this, honestly. Like I said, that's I've done this when there was really not much to it. So to answer the question as to why did I leave previous partnerships in the veteran space and kind of start my own thing, it's for that same reason, just to start my own thing, because I think that there's a lot of veterans, right? We have 19 million veterans, only 5 million of them are service connected. Regardless of what anybody tells you, here's the reality. You have instances where people think the system's going to take care of you, but help me understand how a majority of veterans have no connection to the VA, to the system. They get no comms. So think about it. I don't see the VA showing up on TikTok right now on a Friday night. They're not on YouTube right now. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's one of those things where, not to get too soapboxy with it, but it's like it matters. So I started my own company. I have literally staff, and those folks are behind the scenes doing amazing things. Doris is talking to Niele, like all the folks that we literally have, the moderators you see on TikTok. They're part of the crew as well. So Reggie's in TikTok as well, answering questions. But the fact that this matters to us, and it's not me saying, hey, I'm going to start something so I can just sit back and not do anything. Not saying people don't, but it matters that I do that thing. So one of the things that I did last year was I taught a class on Wednesday night, every Wednesday. Every Wednesday I taught either a VA claims orientation or a CMP prep every other Wednesday. It's on my link tree. This year we're going to have more classes we're doing. The reason that I made a point to kind of just lead that effort from the front is because it matters. So you might see my page and my videos and things that are out there, but there's more behind the scenes than just one person. But sometimes you have to have a face to get out there and do something. So our goal is to find veterans where they're at. And again, it's a little unconventional. You're not going to see us dancing and doing different things, but maybe because we're having this conversation and you see us talking about different things and it's kind of cool, maybe you may laugh or whatever, but you have space virtually to have at least some camaraderie again as a veteran. And while we're doing that, we're answering questions. We're helping veterans make informed decisions. And that's way more than just saying, oh, we're this. So like one of the questions that comes out a lot is like, well, why do you guys teach classes, or what, gives you guys the credentials or the right or the, reason to do a thing? And it's success. The fact that we've built space, we've shown up, and for the better part of 4+ years, and now amassing a crew of veterans, which I'll introduce here on our website at veteransnetwork.club. You can see us. We're not hiding behind names. It's not a drip sequence thing. We're here live right now, actually answering questions. So, when Doris says, hey, can I talk to you? Yell, yeah, we're here. We're talking. There's no like, oh, let's see if we have space to talk to you. No, we're going to show up. We're going to do things our way. And we're going to make a point to try to be for somebody else what we wish we had for ourselves. So for me, as the founder, of the organization, I'm a disabled Army veteran. I'm a retired federal law enforcement officer. I taught adjunct work and did a lot of things on the scholastic side. And all those skill sets brought me to this point of founding this organization and leading from the front, right? So for me, it's like I stick to, and this is not, we joke around a lot about like branches of service and all that. But for me, I think it's big I learned something in the Army that to me that was real huge, which was the paradigm of leadership. And the higher you go, the more you're serving. So it's always like an inverted triangle. It's literally one of those things where my focus, my priority is to make sure that my team is good. If my team is good, my team takes care of the people that are out there, the veterans that need the help. So again, it's a wicked problem to solve across the board. We have veterans that are disenfranchised. We have veterans that don't trust the system. It's hard to trust a system that keeps denying you. It's hard to trust a system that doesn't show up for you. It's hard to trust a system that gives you free access to things that don't work, because that free VSO who still gets paid doesn't show up and doesn't call you, or that accredited agent or that lawyer may not show up and be there. And again, I'm not saying everyone's bad. What I'm saying is that we need more hands to task, to help, to do things. And we've been doing this with that intention for a while. So being able to see the growth of kind of where we've been able to get to, starting our own organization that aligns with our vision of what we wanted to do, how we wanted to do it, it's different, right? It's not just, hey, do a thing here or there. So a lot of players in the space, but one of the things I always say is I don't, do much dancing. I don't have, any oil to sell. I don't like snakes. I'm not here to hook you to a thing. I have my rating. I'm retired. I don't have to do this thing. We choose to do this thing. And that's a difference, right? We choose to do this. So as we're doing that and we begin to showcase some of the things that we're trying to do going forward, we want to share that with you all. Again, to Amy's point, now she's able to work remote from home, as is Brian and other people. So we're creating opportunities for our demographic in our way. And hopefully that creates a change in the system, right? There are good people out there doing good things. But we have to hold accountable to things that are not working right. So if things are broken in the system, I'm going to say that. If things are not happening the way they should happen at the VA, we're going to say that. But conversely, there are good things that are happening, and we will highlight that. Last Friday, we talked on a live on TikTok. Vernon, who is our VNCC chaplain, which we have a chaplain on board as well now, he is literally a walking miracle. A double organ transplant recipient. It took him about 4 days to get 2 organs. And all of that saved his life for a veteran, right, who is older, who is a minority. He would not have, gotten these things on a regular day because of the fact that he just wouldn't qualify if you were to look at health and all these things. But he's a miracle. He got the transplant. And a lot of these things came because he had his benefits. The VA paid for all these things at a private provider. And that has to be highlighted. So, yeah, the VA messes things up. But there's people that are literally alive today because of the benefits they have. So we want to make sure veterans have access to these things, are educated to make informed decisions, and we do our part in that regard. So a long way answer there, Rashad, as to why I left other organizations, because at some point you just spread your wings and you do things your way. So that's what we're doing. So we're glad to be able to serve at a higher level in a way that conforms to us, but there's so much to do that honestly, one organizations or many organizations is not enough. So, but what I would do for 23, that's really what it is. I'm really excited to start to see, the come to fruition the things that I believed in that, we didn't see. There was a time when we did the show out of Zoom and nobody showed up. It was like one person, literally, one person would just tune in like, hey, thanks for showing up. And, to see that we've grown, we got to a place, and that consistency, that's refreshing. So for me, I think this year it's more now a year of taking action, right? I don't want to see another year pass with a lot of unrealized potential because we could have done a thing, we should have done a thing, but we didn't push enough for a thing. So at this point, we're coming out the gates, like a bat out of hell. You know what I'm saying? So if you're following me, you're just going to have to get tired of me punching down your throat content. Like literally, if you're seeing stuff, I'm posting. Oh, the algorithm says post one a day. Screw that noise. You know what I'm saying? Like we're going to create, we're going to show up, we're going to give, we're going to create, we're going to do. And we want you to join us for that. So those are my 2 cents as far as that's concerned. Amy, on your side of the house, a little more lighter, what do you plan to do or have intentions for the year?
I that's yeah, to follow up behind that. So I would say maybe you would call it a resolution. I don't really know, but balance. Like,
Mm-hmm.
that's my goal, I guess, is balance. Something that I'm working on, and that's really important. And I don't think that I've prioritized things like how I should. So trying to create more balance, and um, yeah, I would say that's probably the biggest thing for me.
And I'm sure there's going to be a whole lot more winning in the process as well.
All I do is win. All the Air Force does is win.
So, and again,
And,
one of the things that I don't know, he might be in the chat or whatnot, but we celebrated one of our veterans, one of our oldest veterans. So one of our youngest veterans actually just turned 24, and one of our oldest veterans is over 80. And we're really happy because he's been with us for a while, and thanks to the work that Amy does, she was able to successfully guide him to success. And we're celebrating with him that he was able to get his 100% PNT. So he won his claims. He was able to get that done. It took a long, long time to get there, but he's part of the crew. You'll see him next Friday Night Live because he'll be with us as well. So I'm looking forward to having that there. So the fact that we literally have, say again.
Usually he's on.
No, he might be. I just haven't. I'm catching up. I'm going across the board with the chat, so I don't. He might have commented.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So I'm kind of going like in yep, here. So there you go. See, well, like he's in there.
Oh, there he is. Yes, Dennis.
There you go. You look pretty balanced to him. So there's that part.
Oh, thank you.
But
so sweet.
we're celebrating Dennis.
He's always praying for me. He always, whenever we talk, he always prays for me. Prays for my kids. He's such a sweetheart.
Mm-hmm.
He's
That's
yeah.
awesome.
He's awesome. He really is.
And we're
he's
celebrating
like,
him.
yep. And he's like one of our OGs, just like I'll have to give a special shout out to Lisa too, because what a lot of people don't realize, Lisa is one of our chaser. Well, Lisa Wildman too, but Lisa Chaser, she's been one of our like hugest supporters since day one. She always shows up for us. She always reposts our stuff. She always likes us.
And it's one of the weirdest things because it's
she's
like
not even a veteran.
No, but it's
That's the thing.
and weird only in the sense that it's like it's happened so organically, right? Like she's just supported us, right? And way back when we did some things which we have to bring them back. The Marine Corps rapper and all the different things with musical artists that we brought on, over the years. And she just kind of showed up and never left. And it is the best because at this point now I subconsciously tag her and stuff because like I will put things on social and then she's always like resharing everything. And I'm saying they're like, what the heck? We got people on the team who don't share crap because they forget about it.
More than me. I tell you.
Oh no, she shares way more than you do. Her Instagram is literally like a VNCC, homage.
I see it. My thing. I'm like, dang. I'm like, oh wow, she shared. Oh, I didn't even see this post yet. Thank you, Lisa.
Like, no, at this point now, I just straight tag her. So like, I go through like a whole checklist in my mind whenever I post something. It's like Brian, Amy, Lisa. Like it's like a whole little like rhythm that I go through to get everybody in there. Like Brian, Amy, Reggie, Lisa, Sensu, Miranda, Nayeli, so forth. So I could do that whole thing going down the road. But yeah, Lisa's in the mix.
I love it. Yeah,
so,
she's awesome. Mm-hmm.
And Dennis said he's here. He's here. Like so.
Yeah, I should have known. I just didn't see your name come up yet.
Calm your britches.
Yes. Yeah,
but this is amazing though. Like really, again, if this is the first time you're watching, please just take note of one thing. Dennis, again, one of our vets, he's in his 80s. You know what I mean? And I'm saying that because when someone says, oh, this is our tribe or this is our crew and this is our, show me. Show me. If you tell me you have a tribe and you tell me you have a community, show me. Because if you just show me you and a buddy that are the same demographic, the same age, the same background, you don't have a tribe. Because a tribe, a demographic, a group varies. And the fact is, look at the screen right now. You have three completely different people from three completely different backgrounds. Again, two of them come from the best branch that's out there, because obviously the Army. But the point is, we have the ability to have that connection where someone who's leaving service, who's young, may need direction, may not know what to do. It's a different time than it was in the 90s and the 80s and the 70s and the 60s. But there's goodness and information and wisdom with our elders who served in the 60s and the 70s and the 80s and the 90s. And being able to have someone like Dennis who shows up to our classes and he imparts and he tells us how his day is going, and he can become a resource for someone else of like, you know what? There's something that I can learn from him. Because the fact is, you've lived a life, and if we want to be technical, that's the way it's supposed to work in a tribe. You have your young warriors, and then you have your elders that are literally the ones that, hey, look, I've been down that road. These scars here came from things that you don't know about yet. And yet you can save yourself a lot of headaches of how to navigate the world, and even to the point of saying, hey, they may not know it all, but guess what? Don't do what I did. Don't wait like Brian, 26 years to file your claim. Don't wait like Dennis, 50 years. 50 years. We just had this conversation on Wednesday night. 50 years to get to this point. So when I'm saying we're celebrating him winning his claim, this is powerful because it's 50 years in the making. That was a whole different lifestyle, a whole different time. A lot of us weren't even around, for crying out loud, when this man was doing this stuff that he's forgotten more than we've done. So we have to celebrate our elders. We have to celebrate those that are around us because it plugs him in to be able to, be energized and give to others and in turn benefit from what he is able to do. Because the best part of my Wednesdays is when we kick it to Dennis and Dennis tells us of his perils and his ups and downs with his vices, which come at Costco with the sweets and chocolate chip cookies.
I have to say one of my favorite memories of Dennis is, of course, he's been around. He's always like a ray of sunshine for all of us. I think we sort of like look forward to that. It's funny because, we do this for the vets, and we've had this conversation several times, but, sometimes it's like we're anxious or we didn't have the best week or we have a lot going on, and
Pain,
it's sort of like
all kinds of stuff, our own disabilities.
Then when we come on and we see like Jerry, who's been our OG too forever. I mean, I think before I was even on here, Jerry's been around, and
years.
it's sort of like it helps us, like it cheers us up, and it sort of like brightens our day. And I think there was a Wednesday that it was just off. Like we were just something, usually like there's not a lot of silence, but there was just something about this Wednesday. I think we were just sort of all off, and it was sort of quiet and a little awkward, and clients weren't really asking questions, and it was sort of that, okay. And so we kicked it to Dennis, and we're like listening to him. He's like, DP, I have a problem. And so we're all like tuned in, like, okay, what is this problem? Like, and I'm thinking, what is this problem? We got it under control. We're good.
Right.
Like, what's the problem? Did I miss something? And everybody's like so serious and waiting for him to explain it. And then he's like leading us up to it. And he tells us he ate all of his, the chocolate chip, double chunk chocolate chip cookies.
I would never forget it because he was so serious with it. And he's just like, I have a confession to make of this problem that I have. And it's just like, who did it? Whose ass do we have to whoop? Because not on our watch.
It was so funny. And I just remember all of our faces sort of being like, what is it? Like, what is Dennis going to say? And then he said that, and everybody just busted out laughing. And from that point on, the rest of the night was totally different. And so, I mean, it just, like, you guys, yes, we are coming here to try to hopefully help, you guys with something, but we are veterans too. And so you guys actually help us too. And you guys, like, seeing you guys come and seeing these, the chit chat that you guys have back and forth and all of that kind of stuff is very encouraging to us. And honestly, I would even say, like, it's what keeps me going a lot of times is, that sort of thing.
Oh, snap. Look at that. There's one way to get around to this. We just go ahead and zoom on in to
What is that?
daggone TikTok. So that's the TikTok side of the house. So all the chats there on the right
Oh,
of all the
wow.
people. So, hey, look, we'll find one way to get y'all to show up. So, hey, look, where there is a will, there is a way. And
Hey, I have to tell you, I got a client from TikTok, and you know what? The first thing he said was, "I saw you on TikTok, and I love your microphone."
okay, first of all, that is a blatant lie. First of all, who said that?
No, I have it on. I have it. I actually was just talking to him today, and if
I
he's
don't
on
believe this.
TikTok watching, then go ahead and verify that you did say that to me. And yes, he did. He verified. He said that he liked my microphone. Somebody appreciates it. I can't call him. Oh,
Yeah. Okay.
really?
Yeah. Your microphone. The only look. There's a war of the microphones going down. So there's that part. But shout out to the folks on TikTok, as you see there on the right. So Doris, shout out to you. Nayeli over there, shout out to you as well for holding it down. Let's see here. Doris said, I am in need of mentorship, leadership, and so forth. I believe is what she had commented as we were saying. Yeah, I do really need direction. You are in the right place, Doris, and we're glad that you're here. So again, the reason we do this again like this too is because you know what? Hey, you're part of the conversation. You know what I mean? There's time for one-way direction and stuff, but at least showing up and being able to say what's up. Dave Bez, 80s, with the investing of of land, and if he won and so forth, USMCO 2 to 22. So being able to highlight folks there. Kevin, 5 discs, replaced lower back, same mention, injury, mortar in combat as well. So we'll be answering and supporting there as some of the questions are being answered. But shout out to the crew on that side of the house. But yeah, that's the little face that you get there, Amy, because again,
I'm gonna screenshot it. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna find it right now.
I don't know who the person is, but we might have to block them because we don't appreciate fake news being spread around here.
Well, we do know of one company who had 4 million fake users, followers.
We did see that. There was literally a company that got some fake followers. JP Morgan Chase bought them out, and it was a whole debacle. Let me see here. Let me jump over to on the side of the house. We got Willie in the building. Another one of our OGs as well. He's been with us for quite a bit. Willie Askew, Army 69 to 71, 100% PNT, Team Willie and Reggie. Let's see here. George Powers, Navy, Uber to the Army and the Marines for years. And there it starts. It's only a matter of time before a bunch of vets start talking a whole bunch of stuff. So goodness gracious. It's ensued and it started. On TikTok, you guys have been helpful. I submitted my claim in July 2022. Still waiting. Keep us posted for sure. We're going to talk about a class we have coming up. We have a workshop that we're putting together, and we're excited to roll it out. So it's going to be one of the best ones, not only because we're the ones teaching it, but, it's because we're the ones teaching it. Let's see. George says, I have secondary connections. Amy, I have a secondary connection to Amy if I was in the Navy. I have a connection to Amy, Naval Aviation. So there's that part. So he's Navy, but Naval Aviation. So there's an aviation connection because the Air Force and the Navy, Air Force, and all that good stuff. So there's that part.
Mm-hmm. Appreciate that, George. I appreciate that.
Let's see. Capri just had a whole moment. So let's see here. Sorry, everyone. I hit the wrong button. I was lost in internet hell, and I kept getting a screen where I couldn't chat. Thank God I found you. I had a PTSD moment. In my mind, I literally am just imagining all the ways that she's there just punching the screen and having like a whole moment. Like, ma'am, yet again, what just happened? I was trying to comment, and it wasn't working, so I think we got some CCTV of Capri. She was trying to get her chat to work. So if you're wondering, that's what happened there. But I will say this disclaimer. VNCC will not be held liable for PTSD moments if you break your TV screen or want to file a claim for the things that you break. Just putting it out
there. That's awesome.
So there's that part. We got Damon in the building. What's going on, my brother? Let me go ahead and highlight him real quick. One of my TikTok friends, because apparently we've done some things on TikTok and people are following, and we've amassed 32,000 followers, which is crazy. I'm going to keep this little image here for Amy and her supposed, somebody said something nice about her microphone. I don't believe it.
Oh, my gosh.
But we got Damon in the building, Chief, retired, of course, Army. So I don't have to say that too much. But it's great because the fun fact that Damon has seen is one of my good buddies from way back when. Again, we've been in the claim space for a little bit. Stu. So Stu is my mortal enemy. Stu, sometimes Damon does VA claim videos. He'll tag me, and then he'll tag Stu and a few other people. And it's funny because it's like, okay, great information, but Stu, please pay attention that Damon tagged me first because I'm the winner and you're the first loser. So me and Stu have literally been rival enemies to the death as long as we've known each other. There will never be anything positive from my direction to his direction, so there's that part. But Stu's out there somewhere in the internet world, so shout out to Stu. We go way, way back, way back. So good to see him doing some good stuff there. But great to see you, Chief, out there as well, tuning in on the TikTok side now that we can go and do a few things. So I love that. Alrighty. Let's see here. Let me see. I love to spread the info because 30 years in the military and I don't ever hear a senior leader. And that's the whole thing. We were just literally talking about Dennis. We were just literally celebrating him. Dennis is one of our vets who's literally in his 80s and just won his claim. OG, and the fact that we have the ability to corral people together and share and be like this, I think it's amazing. So we have another OG in the building. Man, talk about the year kicking off right. The man, the myth, the legend, someone I worked with a long time ago. It's Rick. Rick is in the building. Man, talk about the 2019, 2020 times. Goodness gracious. It is amazing and great to see you, my friend. Man, let's see here. Capri, 70% PTSD, IU, PNT on her side of the house. Capri said, I know where you guys live. So there's that part. So
hey, come to Colorado, Capri. Come on our Friday night live.
Find somebody else to do it. I don't want no drama. Capri already done punched the wall and did some other stuff. So look, Amy, I just need you to just go ahead and just. But no, it's good to see you, Rick, as well in the mix. Let me see here. George said, "How did you guys get a footage of me at work?" So apparently that might have been a foobar. So the whole computer screen situation might have actually been a little bit of the George actions out of the house. So the question is, was that George or was the other one George punching the stuff at work? So we're going to say that this is George at work. Sorry, George, for putting your information out there. So let's talk a little bit about what's coming up on January 21st. Some pretty cool things that are actually kicking off. So definitely want to kind of highlight that because I think it's very pertinent. So we always want to at least show you all how to find us and be able to see some of the different things that we have. So let's go ahead and switch over to our website. So we have a website over at veteransnetwork.club is where you'll be able to find all the information and things that we have. We're expanding. Literally, shout out to Brian here with us, who was one of the project managers behind the scene, putting together all of the amazing things here on our website. The one thing I always make a point to at least showcase and highlight is that you will see on our website what service means to us. That's a big one because of the fact that, hey, there's a lot of places where you can boast stats and do all that. But this is about service. This is about doing something a little bit different. So for us, as soon as you walk onto our website, you know you're in the right place because it will tell you immediately our definition of service. And it comes from the fact that here at VNCC, we have a saying, disabled, not enabled. So don't just thank us for our service, but let us be of service again. Let us get in the mix of things again, right? And that means for us providing knowledge, support, compassion with the utmost integrity, which is why we do this, right? Here you're going to find answers to your VA claim questions. You see that all the time. Check our pages. And a community, which we're seeing right now, a safe place to be able to share your truth, share for us. Service for us is a way of life here at VNCC. It's the foundation of who we are, what we do, and most importantly, how we support each of you. And we do this in so many different ways, which I think, again, it's amazing. You know what I mean? If I were to tell you that I would be thinking I'd be doing this on a Friday night with a bunch of amazing veterans around the world and my mother-in-law literally in attendance, it is amazing. So like my better half, you know, she's a veteran as well. And my mother-in-law's like, well, you get to tune in and do stuff. And she's like, I live with him. I hear this all the time. Like, seriously, you know what I'm saying? So, but it's funny because my mother-in-law, like, she tunes in and she comments. And, like, the first time, like, she had this whole message, like, oh, who's this? I'm like, well, that is my mother-in-law. But it's amazing because, again, it goes to show that we're doing something that's different, right? Where literally both veterans, active duty personnel, and even family members are able to be part of the conversation. So I'm really grateful for that. Specifically to the website, you'll be able to see kind of some of the information that we have here. So head on over, links in my profile. It's at veteransnetwork.club. We're going to be bringing online the personal dev and business dev here soon. But if you head on over to the claim support folder, if you've never seen it, a lot of good information there. If you want to talk to us and kind of see, hey, is this something, you know, get some perspective or talk to our crew, head on over to the get some support. And basically all we'll do is just put you on the list to talk to one of our advisors. No commitment, no anything, just have an intake call, see where you're at. Sometimes we just need some direction. So there's that part. So that information is there. Also, we'll have the VA disability chart that just came out. So we have a copy there. If you want to download it, go ahead and take a look at that. So that information is there for you all. VA forms, you're going to file a VA claim. You're going to do certain things. Guess what? We have them all here. So click on those. It'll take you to the live link at the VA. So we kind of put those together for you so you know where to find it. And if you want to do some learnings, we have types of service connection information here. Click on that folder. There's more information we're going to be populating in there, but types of service connection and things like that are going to be there. One of the areas that I'm real happy about is if you scroll down and go to the club shop, for example. Here you will see a lot of free things that we have. The first one here is free downloads. Literally head on down, and if it's mental health, MST, GI disorders, headaches, migraines, sleep apnea, the UPAC Act, just head on down and literally click on the link. It'll open up the PDF for you. You can download it and go forth and do great things. Now, because we created this, I'll tell you the rationale. I think this is one of the best stuff that is out there. So everything we create, and we have about 5 more on the docket. So Lisa behind the scene is doing work, and we're doing all these things. So tonight's one's on the way, and a few other ones where they're like, for all kinds of conditions. So you'll see information on the condition, for example, sleep apnea. So we have this information chart here for you all. And then we also have the rating criteria along with the figures of what the rating criteria is. Because guess what? What does it mean when you see a 50% if you never file a claim? So what does that mean monthly payment-wise? So we have a lot of those good informations in here. So take a look at it. I think it's really well done, and there's more that's coming. So they're all different depending on the condition. So again, what is IBS? What are the symptoms? What is the impact? What is GERD? How does it rated? What is the rating criteria? What are the symptoms? All there for you all to check out. So take a look at that. That's pretty cool. We have our state benefit book that literally breaks down all 50 states. So 350 pages of amazingness for 99 cents. So it helps to keep the internet on. So that's that part. And our book on VA disability with our course is being relaunched. So you'll see there. And don't tell nobody, but that is actually Dennis that we just celebrated. So boom, there you go. If we're going to do stuff, we're going to use our own people as our own models. So you'll see Dennis live and in charge here shortly. But if you want to know what this looks like, there's Dennis on the book.
There's Dennis.
So, that's kind of how we do things here. A little bit different. So a lot of good stuff there. Swag shop and different things are on the way. The best part here, I always like to showcase at least before I kind of click off, is the about us part. You'll be able to see a little bit about who we are, our information, our background, my service dog, who's our chief morale officer, so legend, named after Chris Kyle, is there. But then the team, which is what you see here. So there you see Amy, you see Brian, you see Sensu and the crew. And as we put this together, we realized that the entire team is 100% P&T, which was hilarious because it wasn't a thing we knew as we are kind of, making it dress right dress. So we literally have veterans who both have retired, who separated, who've been medically separated, MST rated veterans as well. So we understand the sensitivity when it comes to that. We even have a mill spouse, Maria in the building, mill spouse married to a veteran, 100% PNT. And we know for a fact that she led him to greatness. So is that part. We got the Marines in the building, the Army's in the building, the Navy's in the building, and we have the chaplain who was around Brown. So let's not get too crazy because I always say, look at that. Don't let that fool you. I always look at those eyes right there. I want no problem with the chaplain. And of course, when we hit on the civilian side, we even have some disabled civilians. And there's Lisa with her ESA. So there's a little bit of the crew. Go ahead and take a look at it, read up on it, get to know us a little bit more, because that's the whole point, right? Not just like, who are these people? Well, go read. It's right there. So that's a little bit of what we have there. But specifically, one of the things that we're really excited about, if you go to our website, hit the ticker on the top right, you'll be able to go to VA claims classes. So we are now putting this here together, putting some final touches on it, but you'll be able to actually come onto this website and see what we're doing. So there's certain things that we do that are going to now have a paywall to it. So for example, our CMP preps that we're doing, so we'll change that. That's going to be updated there. But the VA claims crash course that's coming up, that for example, workshop is something that is coming on the 21st. So literally just take a look at it. Scroll down and click on that, and literally you'll see the time and the information there. So we're really excited for that. You can kind of see what it's all about, read more about it. So that's $49. It's a workshop. You're getting a workbook. So it's going to be very interactive as we're working through the process. The goal is you're coming into this, you're learning stuff. We're talking a VA claim process. We're talking nexus letter. We're talking buddy letters. We're talking about how to put all that together. And then you're leaving with a workshop document. Nayeli, who's in the comment section, we're literally doing this whole back and forth of making sure the workbook is fine. It is literally a never-ending conversation of like, okay, but does it have enough of this? Does it have enough of that? Like, if you were to see just how much back and forth we do, that's why I spent 2 hours on the treadmill yesterday, just literally walking. So that's just a heads up of what we have. So this page is up live. That's $49. Again, it's a workshop. You're walking away with some cool stuff. Then we have our Nexus letter and buddy statement writing class. It's going to be a specialized class. So those will be tweaked. Same thing with the CMP prep. But for right now, $49 for the workshop. The Nexus one, I think that one we're doing, that's $29. And I believe that the CMP prep, we're also going to have at either like the 19 or 29 points. So we'll see what that is. But on my profile, the orientation and Q&A session that we do on Wednesdays, that's free. So you can pop it on those Wednesdays and do that. But the CMP prep's a little bit more hands-on. So again, just different options that are available because maybe that's all you need, right? Just pop in and take a look at stuff. So that is on our website. Go ahead and take a look at it as we begin to build that out and do some more amazing things. So blogs, cool stuff. Shout out to the amazing people behind the scenes to include even our course that we're just putting some final touches on. So we have a self-paced course that you can look at. So a lot of good stuff. With that being said and done, Amy, why should someone join us for our workshop coming up here in a few weeks from your perspective?
Because I think you don't know what you don't know. And so I think it's a great starting point for people, especially if they're brand new and they're going at it. And a lot of people, they're not given the information while they're active duty. They're not given the information when they're out, especially if they're not in the veteran community. And so you just don't know what you don't know. So it's a great crash course from, this is what you do to start to end. If you want to start, pursuing your claim on your own, then it's a lot of information to get you started.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to kick it to you, Brian, as well, but let's catch up real quick on some comments. Rick says, good to see you guys as well. Capri says, oh, sure, now he wants to tell me how to find you guys. So that part. Let's see here. But again, even on Capri's side, right? So if you're doing a claim and you don't know website with these guys, you're crazy. I thought for 12 years I fought for 12 years, and once I got out, I thought I got with them and was 100% PNT in 6 months from start to finish. So there you have it. Like Capri again, she worked with us a while back, and it's one of those things that to me, again, because it's us, it's always weird saying it, but you're not gonna find a lot of places where you patronize someone for business and then keep showing back up. You know what I'm saying? Like she's done and done. She has her rating, she got her stuff, and she still shows up and supports. And that goes back to our community aspect of like, hey, we can do more than just one thing, right? It's not just, oh, you got your claim, then what? Like, no, there's a whole bunch of other stuff going on. So,
Well, and really that speaks to the community nature of what we do here. The fact that we are a club.
mhm,
Uh, this isn't, get your claims and get out of here. This is people, vets love to come back and continue to hang out. I mean, Dennis has breached his pinnacle and he's still here. He's still coming back. He's going to be part of the family for the rest of his life. And
mhm,
same goes with every club member.
mhm.
Well, and actually, well, I mean, Jerry's been around too with
We're waiting on
Dennis,
Jerry.
but
And
I will
Jerry, at
say,
Jerry
yeah,
Brown.
Capri, I want to say she became more active with us even after she
Mhm,
left, or I mean, not after she left, after she won her claim,
mhm,
but she was actually on. She was actually on with us when we were the last Colorado meetup, like 3 years ago or two
mhm.
years ago? What was it?
Two.
And
2 years.
2 years ago, yeah, she was like the hype girl on
Yeah,
that
she was
on
harassing your
that on
soul
that
because that's the
live.
first time that you ate
Yeah,
an
she
MRE.
was. Yeah, it is, and she was giving me crap.
I
Yeah,
like how you're
suck it
you're
out the
glossing over the
back.
fact that you had not eaten an MRE until that live 2 years ago. Don't just gloss over that.
It's fine. We
That's
were
a
talking about
classic
Capri now.
time that
We're
will
not
live
talking about
forever.
MREs. We're talking about Capri. That she's
Hmm.
been, yeah. So she's been around. She's still, and it's always fun to see her. She is so funny too. When you get her going, man, she is so funny.
Oh yeah, she
You
she
can't
she
keep up.
literally is hilarious.
Yep, she is.
Let's see some questions that came. So Damon says, "Love spreading the information. You guys are awesome. I'll do more claim videos. I love spreading the word. Getting back to the wife." Doris says, "Was living in Colorado before I joined. Going back after I retired from the army. What parts of Colorado? Because actually Lisa and Amy are both in Colorado.
Yeah.
So that's actually like our yearly meetup that we have going on. So we'll talk about that here in a second. Lane Army, September 11 to 2001 to July 20th, 2010. Stuck at 20%. What are you rated for, Lane? So we can try to take a look at that. Be youthful, temporary, 100%. Can you talk about how they determine or approve not? So talk to me about what's your temporary 100%. Are you on convalescent? Do you have it because of what? Did you get to 100% and you're not PNT? So different ways to look at this. So when we're looking at like a claim specifically, right, there's different ways to look at it. There are people who are, oh snap, hold on. Jesus, talk about we're going back in time. Don't call it a comeback. It is none other than our brother Stephen Vanoy is in the building, people. Come
Oh
on now.
wow! What is up, Steven?
What?
Oh
Man, I'm telling you,
wow!
this is like the family
Yes,
reunion.
it
Stephen
is.
Hey,
Vanoy is in the building. What
Yes,
is up, my brother? It is good to
yes.
see your
Good
name.
to see your name.
it's been a
Man,
minute.
that is awesome. I like
Yes.
that. Um,
hmm
so good to see you, bro. How have you been?
Yes. Yes.
I got you, Be Youthful, and Doris here as well. I'm literally this is the fun that happened behind the scene of managing all this as we're all over the place. Sandy says, let me see. You ate an MRE and you did not serve that to us. So no, Sandy. Amy had not ever eaten an MRE. So 2 years ago, we have to bring it up, but it's on our YouTube.
No,
Amy
we
basically,
don't.
what?
No, we don't. We are moving into. We are not living in the past. We are moving into 2023.
We're leaving the past
So
behind. Got it.
we're leaving the
So
past behind
she
us.
she put MREs behind her and was able to eat them live on the show, and hilarity ensued. So who knows what will happen this coming trip? Some people
But
brought up
the
some.
funniest part about that, I have to say, like watching it
Oh.
over.
Oh, wow.
See? What branch were you? What branch were you?
Oh Lord.
So the funny part about it was, I mean, watching it over, I really thought I was gonna throw up. I really did. And so we were like sitting, next to each other, and I didn't know which direction I was gonna turn. Was DP gonna get it or was Brian gonna get it? But then what people didn't see is all the audience in front of us that was sitting there eating chicken wings and
Mm-hmm.
dipping it in sauce in front of us, laughing at
Mm-hmm.
it. Nally was one of them, and Jay. And so the funny part is later when I would, because people have replayed it several times back, was how excited DP and Brian were just sitting next to me, just chomping away. Or I guess they were both on the side, just chomping away, talking like it was no big deal, like, oh yeah, this is good, and finished the whole MRE like as if it was a snack. And I'm like, there's chicken wings for us when we're done, and you're just eating the MRE.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they like it.
So good.
It was some good eatings.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
More
know
money in the bag.
what the problem was.
Yeah, but that was Capri was super funny during that live. She kept saying all kinds of things.
Yeah, she put it in the chat there.
Oh, did she?
Yeah.
Oh, my son was there too, and he was part of it.
Mm-hmm.
Rallying behind them, making me eat the MRE.
Well,
Laughing.
and what did Capri tell you?
Suck it out the bag, I think.
Exactly.
Was
Shove it down your
like
gullet
something like that?
and all that
Yeah.
and all of that stuff, which was hilarious.
It was hilarious.
It was
Actually, Capri being so funny was probably what helped me from not vomiting. Because I was like really trying to take a deep breath. And then of course DP zooms in on me while I'm trying to like breathe and like in my mind be like, I am live. I cannot throw up live. Like I will this is bad enough. I will never live it down if I throw up. And I'm like, and then the camera comes in really close to me as I'm like trying to breathe and not throw up. It was horrible. You guys got to pick which one I ate, and that was probably the problem because it was like basically, what was it? Teriyaki something, basically dog food.
Noodles or something. I can't remember
Oh,
exactly.
so gross. Maybe if I would have had like the chili mac or something, it wouldn't have been so bad. But this was like wet dog food, really.
Oh no.
It was horrible.
The only MRE that I've ever had that I would not want to have again is the dehydrated beef patty. So that's the only one.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to have any of them again.
Well, we're not gonna redo those in Colorado, so we don't have to worry about that. But yeah, so we're not gonna. There's what Capri actually said, if we could be truthful, is suck it out the damn bag.
Yeah, right.
Fly girl.
Actually, I think DP, when she was putting comments, I think DP was like, "I'm not gonna repeat this.
I can't read this.
I can't say what Capri's saying. I'm just gonna put it up here."
Yep. I was like, look, I want no problems here because if I say this stuff, it might be a whole situation, and then I'm over here getting all kind of weird, censorship situations. So I did not want none of that.
Yes.
Let's see. Steven says a good group of wonderful people, as are you, my brother. I appreciate you.
Yes. Steven, awesome.
Oh,
I miss
100%.
him.
That's OG stuff there. Great place to connect and get educated. Thank you guys. You're welcome. Again, that's what that's what it's all about. Steven says Air Force does not do MREs. We have professional cooks. All the services love the chow hall of the Air Force bases. Steven has not missed a beat.
Yes.
Look at that. Right into the daggone mix.
That is so true.
Goodness gracious. Doris on TikTok was living in Green Valley Ranch in Colorado. Do you know that place?
Oh, okay.
So there's that part. So, and again, this is what's amazing. So Austin actually said Steven was on the phone with him during a dark time. Wouldn't let me hang up. Forever thankful through my tears. All I could do was say that I needed help. So even again, how long has that, been since you guys talked to each other and being able to kind of link up here? I think that's amazing. So I love that.
Yeah, that's cool. Mm-hmm. So Steven was, for those that may not know, Steven was a coach as well. Mm-hmm. And the one thing that sticks, Steven was really good at HLRs too.
Yes.
Formulating HLRs, he was really good at that.
What's an HLR again for the people who don't know?
Higher level review.
Wow.
Yes.
Miranda says, Steven, LOL, you are a fibber. we have some Air Force bickering going on, so I'm gonna keep on scrolling. Do 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 do. She said, "We just had gourmet food in a bag." You know what? Look, I'm not getting in the middle of all this stuff. Capri says, "Dinner of Champions." So there's that part. Steven says, "Hey Miranda." Let's see, on a TikTok side of the house. Let's see. So the question was temp. Lane lost range of motion and shoulders 10 each. Check. 0 both knees, ankle 0, rhinitis 0, denied PTSD, denied sleep apnea, denied asthma. Back in 2015. So that actually presents a few good points to kind of talk about as far as, those things were denied. So now if you're going to go back at something like that was denied, you're going to have to go back at it from a supplemental perspective. But the thing that may have well been missing is the service connection piece, right? So certain things that are needed to file a claim, you have to have 3 basic elements, right? An in-service event or stressor, you need to have a current diagnosis, and how do you connect those 2 things? So in this instance here, right, you may well have had a diagnosis, but do you have the connecting piece to connect those pieces there, right? So a nexus letter, people talk about that a lot, but how are we connecting that? If that wasn't strong enough, how do you go back and argue that again? So there's a few ways, Lane, on your side to kind of go back for that. So just because it was denied, this is something I have to say, again, we're a little bit all over the place on these, like we do, but I will say this. When it comes to a denial, please understand that it is not a denial of your truth, of your reality, or what you've dealt with. It is literally a systematic situation of how the system processes something. So just because the system may have got it wrong, that doesn't mean that you're wrong. That doesn't mean that you've lied. There is a systematic issue. One of the things that I'll bring up here in a second is a recent OIG report of the VA that actually highlighted that in 68% of the times, they got it wrong. Like literally an OIG report showing the VA has got it wrong multiple times. And that has to be said because, again, you could think, oh, it's just you or whatever the case may be, or you know what, I tried and we're not going to go. So, Amy, on your side, we just talked to your vet the other day who was denied. And he was like, well, we tried. So, maybe, we'll let it go. And what was the answer to that? Just because he was denied. It's like he's thinking he's going to hang it up. And I'm like, nah, that's not what's going to happen here. Tell the people what you told him when he told you, oh, I almost, gave up. Because Lane says, I feel that way, but gave up. So guess what, Lane? It's not happenstance. You're here. You just took a break. Time to get back in the mix. Amy, Lane is in this position where he's like, I gave up. It didn't work. And I got denied. Repeat what you told your vet that we talked to the other day.
Well, he said that he got his letter and they denied him. And he said, well, we gave it a good run. We gave it a good shot. Thank you for all you did. I was like, oh, no, we don't give up. We're going to keep going. And he was sort of like, huh? Mm-hmm. And I was like, no, we're not going to give up. We're going to keep going. You don't give up. I mean, that's what the VA, that's what they want you to do. That makes it easy, right? And so maybe we're going to try something different. That's, that something will work and something will hit. You just keep going.
We don't do that here. We don't do the giving up here.
Yeah.
Whoa. You got denied. You gave up. No. We don't do that here.
Yeah. I can't. Yeah, I need that meme to send him. I can't tell you how many vets. I mean, even some that are on some of our clients that have been denied, go back, for supplemental, denied, HLR denied, go back supplemental, denied, HLR approved. And sometimes they just get it wrong. And we just had one the other night. It's like everything is there. They messed up. They missed something. You have everything you need. We're going to go back and they're going to get it right.
Are you saying that the VA could improve the accuracy and completeness of how they request medical records for disability claims?
No.
Oh, I'm sorry. The September 2022 report? Oh, okay, let's talk about it because we're not just talking out our asses. Rick says this is a whole lot better than the Zoom meetings. Rick remembers the Zoom meetings. It was basic Zoom meetings, and it was very choppy. It was not at all impressive. Like if you go to our YouTube channel, just literally just peruse on the live and go back, and you will literally see just how basic, it was looking a long time ago. Like, I
Yeah.
mean,
Didn't you do one out of the closet at work one time or something?
I did do a live out of a closet. I was at work and I had to find some place to go talk about denials, and I was here, doing my job back then and all that stuff. But this is something that I want to highlight because Lane, this is something for you. If you've been denied, I need you to listen. Again, we talk and we joke and we do stuff, but this is bullshit. This is the facts. This is bullshit. This is literally an OIG report from the VA, and they literally found instances where things were just incredibly wrong to a whole different degree. 68 is the number that I need you to understand. And you'll see me post about stuff and say things, but in 68% of the times, claim processors did not follow all policy and procedural requirements to request your medical records to make a decision. Even worse, some instances, no relevant evidence was identified. Some evidence was identified in other instances, but relevant key evidence was missing. On other instances, medical opinion requests did not contain the adequate opinion language. On other instances, not all warranted medical evidence was even requested, and on some, requested medical opinion wasn't even brought into the mix. And I'm showing this because it's, again, this is not us saying, oh, the VA. No, this is the OIG saying y'all messed up. Right here. The team identified that this is what happened. That we have literally medical opinion requests, 68% of the time, processed during a review period, did not follow established procedures. For example, claim processors did not identify relevant medical evidence for the examiner's review or submitted medical opinion requests that were correct, inadequately done, did not request all medical opinions or requested unnecessary opinions. And it goes on to say that even though they were trained, they did not know how to do this. So the problem here, why I say this is bullshit, is because, Lane, you may have had everything in your claim that was correct and the way it should have been, and they did not do their job. It's literally what it's saying. Again, you got to call a spade a spade. When they do things that are right, we're going to highlight it. But this is crap. Because if you're part of that crew, and again, this is a statistical, sample. So just because they did it between 2021 and 2020, you just found out this is a rampant thing happening. So what about 2019, 18, 17, 16? So you filed your claim. You finally got off your butt and did what you had to do, and the system denied you. I showed you how I had something in service. I showed you my medical opinion. I got my buddy letters. I did my sworn statements. I did all the things that were supposed to happen. The VSO said, throw it against the wall, see what happens. The lawyer said, I got you. And you got a big fat denial. Because the fact that someone did not know how to do their job, because even though they were trained, they did not know how to do it. And when the VA turns around and says, we're going to hire more people, here's the reality. How the hell do you solve a problem by hiring more people who are going to be trained by incompetent people? People trained to do this did not know how to do it. So hiring somebody new solves the problem. And of course, the solution becomes, well, we're going to implement more micro training. So you train people to do something, they didn't do it right. And then the solution is let's do more training, because that always obviously helped the first time around. So I'm mentioning this because, again, it's on our newsletter. We gave kind of the bottom line up front and the big, info on it. But I'll be creating content and talking about this, and it's going to ruffle some feathers, and I don't care. Well, who are you to say a thing? The guy who knows how to read. The guy who has multiple master's degrees, worked for Homeland Security, wrote policy for government, went represented agency, deployed, went to Iraq, a first responder at September 11, taught at university. I understand how policy works. I've written policy. I've worked in government. I understand technology. So you can't bullshit me. Because the fact is, no one's pulling this information up, but this is the reality of what's happening. This is wrong. So the highlight here is, yes, the VA got called on it. That's why the OIG report is saying what they need to do. But what's not happening is who's telling the veterans that, hey, we might have messed up. Hey, Amy, I think we messed up. Let's take a look at that claim again. Nope. It's because nowhere in this does it say, reach out to all these people that you got it wrong and tell them we'll look at it again. That's not a highlight point. I don't see anything in here that says, you know what, Lane, you were denied. We may have got it wrong. Let's take a look at it again. Nope. Unless you file again, nothing is going to happen. Unless you punch back again, nothing is going to happen. That's why we don't do that here. You got denied? Who gives a shit? We punch the fuck back. Because the fact is, pardon my French, but it's the truth. You file a claim, you get denied. Higher level. That gets denied, supplemental. That gets denied, higher level. That gets denied, to the BVA we go. There's different courses of action that we can exhaust. And in true fashion, when we're doing these workshops, like the 21st, that's what we're talking about. I'm being very PC right now because we're live, but trust me, I'm dropping some fucking F-bombs on the 21st because you have to walk out of there with the right information to be successful. You have to know how to punch back. You have to have a strategy. You have to know how to accomplish the goal that you're trying to get to. Because the reality is this, when someone looks at, well, how can I solve a problem that I haven't been able to solve yet? Well, maybe revisit how you're going about getting said information. So it's about equipping veterans to be successful. It's about giving them the tools and the information of how to get from point A to point B. And if you've joined or you've been to one of our classes in some shape, fashion, or form, you'll see that we come at this from a very different perspective. So when you say, well, DP, so, is there a plan or a strategy on how we do that thing? Well, funny you say that. Yeah, because if you show up on a Wednesday night for orientation, this is what you're going to see. Strategy. How do we accomplish this in a phased manner? We do this in a way to get you from point A to point B. So if you ask a question about how do you make the donuts, well, here's a macro, behind the scenes look at how things might get done on this side of the house that you won't see in other places. We break it down into 3 phases. Phase 1, you're underrated, you're lost, you're confused. Hey, Lane, that's phase 1. What are we doing here? We're assessing the current situation. We're developing a strategy, right? Tasks that have to happen in some shape, fashion, or form might take the steps that look like this, right? Attending orientation, strategy. Do you need psych or medical? Let's align you with those things. Hopefully we get you to phase 2 where you're less confused, you're learning the process, January 21st, and the goal is for you to execute your planned strategy, submit a fully developed claim with the task of gathering medical evidence as needed, the tools you need to submit your claim, and the tools you need to prepare for when they call you to the CMP. From there, we get you to a point where you have ownership of your claim, not just, this is, I think, what they did. No, you're going to know what you're doing. Successful CMP, prepare for the next course of action. Maybe that means that you go to CMP and you're done, or you have to go for round 2, or if denied, we rebut. But the point at hand is no matter what happens, right? The end state goal here is that you get the rating you deserve. That's the goal. That's the point. That's the mission. That's what we do. And we've been doing it successfully for a very long time. So when you talk about, well, what qualified? Well, because of this. Did your lawyers sit there and talk to you and put a plan of action in place? I promise you they did not. Did the VSO do that thing, or are you still waiting for a call back? Again, I'm not against what others are doing. I'm just saying this is what I wish I had because I did not know how to understand something. You don't have to wait 26 years like Brian Lofton. You don't have to wait 50 years like Dennis. You don't have to wait 40 plus like veteran Askew, Willie. The point at hand is how do we get there with a plan of action? So it's not just I'm making videos and talking. No, we're talking about this with a plan of action. This is just a slide from a Wednesday night class because we're talking about it. Because if we get down to the point of saying what makes us different is because we back up the results with a plan of action of how to get there. And the fact that others are not doing it is not my problem, but that's why we're here doing this. Because you've given up hope. Because all of a sudden now they denied me and it was a lie. Because you don't understand, Brian. I made a point to file this claim and the VA said that I was wrong. They denied me. So I should have never filed. But the fact is you truly know what you're living with. That event that happened in service, those injuries, the mental health perspective, the fact is that we went into service literally in the best conditions of our lives. Miranda, who's watching, said a great thing one time, and I give her kudos for this. If you rent a car and you ding it up, guess what? you got to go ahead and pay the damages. You got to pay that insurance. And when we do our classes and we talk about who am I, right? That's who I am. There's the name, not hiding behind a pseudonym. But I bring this slide up because here's the reality. The person right above me is what went into service. The person to the right with a dog is what is after service. The smile is not there anymore. The mobility is not there anymore. As a 17-year-old kid going forward, signing a contract and doing great things for God and country and deploying, I was exposed to things. A September 11 responder, September 11 to March 2002, Iraq, Afghanistan, all these things being deployed, everything. And the point is, for all the accolades, here's the reality of this. It's that at one point, this person smiled. Then over time, what happened? Why is it that over here, you don't see that same smile? Because life, service. So when you're filing a claim and the VA says, oh, maybe your dad didn't hug you. No, because guess what? I was great when I freaking graduated boot camp. I was great when I went to leadership schools. I was great when I went ahead and went to advanced schools and deployed and did this and did that and did this and did that and served and did uniform duties and all the other stuff. And then when life caught up and my lungs stopped working the way they should because I'm at ground zero breathing all that, or in Iraq, or IEDs and losses and things and traumas, etc. Now things are just not the same. This is not what life was supposed to be. And the fact of the matter is, losing hope, the fact that I finally come to a place, Brian, where I'm listening to you. Oh, fine, I'm going to file this claim. You keep on me about it. And then they deny me. And then now I'm a liar. I shouldn't have done this. I shouldn't have filed. Well, here's the reality. The system is getting it wrong. I just showed you 68% of the time they requested the wrong things. So the whole point is we have to hold folks accountable when they're wrong. When they're good and they're right, they're right. But a veteran should not give up just because the system got it wrong. They messed up. They got it wrong. That doesn't mean you were wrong. So the one thing I'll say before we kind of switch tone here is this. If no one's ever told you, your truth is enough. If you served and signed a dotted line and for whatever reason you were not able to finish your contract, you are one of us. The fact that you did not serve 20 years is bullcrap. You signed the dotted line. And situations outside of your control may have shortened that time, but you have the ability to get justice for those things and recompense for those things and file a claim for the things that are ailing you still today. Because the fact is we forget a lot of things, but you can't forget things that are etched in our minds that we try to suppress and not talk about and deal with. So the fact of the matter is, your truth is enough. It's not a, hey, DP, hey, Amy, hey, Nigeli, hey, Brian. So what do I say on my CMP to get it? You say your truth. You say your truth because your truth is enough. The job here is not to help you file a claim. That's easy. If you're literally watching us right now on any platform, you can submit a claim because you literally figured out YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, and you logged on. And if you're commenting with us, you know how to do that. That's literally filing a claim. You log in, you upload, you submit. That's not the problem. It's how do you get to a place to finally say the truth? Because every time that I see you, Lane, every time that I see you, Doris, guess what you say? Everything is fine. Everything is cool. Because that's how we got through service. You suck it up and you drive on. You drink water, you change your socks, you take a Motrin. You don't complain because guess what? Nobody cares. 2 tears in a bucket. And we take that mentality that got us through service and got us through hardship and got us through combat, and we live a life not knowing how to ask for help. And sometimes we become statistics, or we almost cross that boundary because we just don't know. To Andrew's point, we talked to Stephen, and he was at a dark place, and Stephen would not hang up on him because he was there for him. So reinventing this conversation of a VA claim process is more than a claim. It's getting a veteran to a place to tell their truth. No keywords, no secret sauce, no snake oil salesman crap. It's getting to a place to understand that you and I have emotional camouflage and we do not know how to talk about things because we put it away. And we've done it for 5, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years. And when you go file a claim, of course you get denied because you literally don't have the ability to tell the truth. You want to show your popping knee and your back situation, but talk to me about the anxiety that literally has wrecked your life, the depression that has alienated your kids from you, cost you marriages, cost you jobs, cost you employment. Because every day you show up saying everything is fine. It's not fine. You literally tried to check out yesterday, but thankfully the firing pin didn't go off. Stop it. You literally try to end it all and you just ended up in the ER having to get your stomach pumped. Stop it. You're not fine. Things are not fine. You're not well. But welcome to the club, because neither are we. And that's the difference here. We understand what that is. We understand those points, but now we begin the process of empowering a veteran to tell their story for once. So if no one's ever told you or you've never heard it, one, your story, your truth is enough. It is enough. And then secondary to that, if you've never found a home where you felt like you belonged for whatever the reason may be, well, welcome to VNCC. Don't care what your rank was. Don't care what your job was. All I care is that you served. Whether you're old or you're young or in between, it doesn't matter. You're here. And that's what it's all about. When someone tells Amy, we tried, maybe better luck next time. Nope. No. So this, in a nutshell, is literally the things we're going to be talking about on January 21st in our crash course. We got to get you ready. You got to be ready. And then we're going to have other classes, how to write statements, nexus letters, all these different things. We're going to show you how to get a nexus letter from your doctor so you don't have to pay anybody. That's what's on the pipe. Because what you don't know is I've trained doctors who do this for a living, people that you frequent out there right now that you pay to write your nexus letters. Where do you think they learned that from? We've been in the game for a long time. We don't sit here tooting the horns, but, you'd be surprised. My name is not freaking, Tactical Billy. It's DP. I don't need pseudonyms or fake names. I wear the real hat that I'm supposed to wear. So my point being is this. We're going to be helping veterans solve problems. Coming to the crash course on the 21st of January. Highly encourage you all to join. If you have veterans that are interested, tell them to come on down. You're going to learn a lot. But then we're going to look at nexus letters, how to write those, how to tell your doctor to write one for you, and you can save yourself $800. So that's my sales pitch for the 21st. Damn it, I blame you, Lane. You tried to give up on me, Lane, and that's what happened. You triggered me. Amy, on your side, your thoughts.
Yeah, I would echo everything that you said. Just don't give up. I mean, there's plenty of people that are in the chat and that are here that, they have their 100% and they're here just hanging out with us, but they didn't give up and they wanted to. There was times that they wanted to, like, hang in there and get what you deserve. And, that's the thing is, like, sometimes the VA gets it wrong, but go back until they get it right, and then you'll get the benefits and the compensation that you deserve. And sometimes it's not even about you, it's about your family, about your husband or wife or your kids. And so stay in the fight, for that too,
Mm-hmm.
not just for yourself, but keep that in mind too. And I know that that is some people's motivation is, I want to make sure that I get to 100% so that my spouse is taken care of if anything was to happen to me. And that's fine, but just stay in the fight and don't give up. And there's so many testimonials out there of people that they really, because you don't know what you don't know, and the VA doesn't make it easy, and they don't tell you what you exactly. That's great, Stephen. Um, what's surprising to me, like I've never really understood, is that when the VA denies you, you could or do have everything you need to get that service connection, but they're just not telling you that one thing. Maybe you needed to file it secondary instead of primary, or maybe you needed to file it on this form instead of that form, or whatever. And so they don't do you any favors by just saying, hey, this is a good claim. I think you have a winning claim here, but you need to refile it this way. And so that's super frustrating. And so will the VA ever get there? Who knows? But for now, that's why we exist. And that's why the crash courses, will be super beneficial to understand what you don't know. And you can learn a lot. I mean, it's too, well, I don't, 2 hours, but it's never really 2 hours with DP. And so, it's one of those things, like if my kids hear that DP says, "Oh, jump on for a minute," or "Oh, let's jump on for a minute," they're like, "Oh, we'll see you tomorrow." So, I mean, they don't even, they give me a kiss goodnight and go to bed. But there's so much. It sounds like, in 2 hours, believe it or not, that's a lot of information to take in, and you will be able to walk away having a much better understanding of what it is that you need to do, how you need to do it. Sometimes people, it's complicated or it's complex, and it's not as easy for some as it is others. And so, it's all about strategy too, and understanding, strategy is very important. You can have really good claims, but you need to get connected for something else first. And so just understanding that, like somebody had, I talked to today, was saying how he absolutely, hands down, has some very solid claims. But he needs to get connected for one thing first, and then he can get connected for the rest. And he's got a solid claim, and so you just don't know what you don't know. So I think it's very, it's going to be a good class, and you're going to learn a lot of information, and very, very beneficial, for sure.
Let's check out the live side of the house. See what's going on that side. Let's see here. See, we improvise. What's that? You can't bring comments up on a live because the way TikTok works? Nah, player. We'll find a way. Where there's a will, there's a way. The coalition of the willing. Let's see who we have, y'all. Nayeli's answering some questions in there, as is Brian, multitasking. Looking forward to that.
I don't know how you guys do this. It almost drives me absolutely crazy, because I don't know, how are you there and you're literally here? Like, I'm trying to read some comments and I can't all the time. Even with DP, I'm like, how are you doing that during the day? Like, you're literally on a live. How are you answering these questions? Or you're doing, I don't know. I don't know how you do it, because I just can't.
So this is a good point. So you might send a message, and that's why we put together the BNCC thing. I literally, with 30,000 people, the amount of comments that I get, my inbox is just, so like, trust me, I respond to as many people as I can. But the way my hands are set up, sometimes I just cannot get back to everyone. Once you go over a certain point, like on TikTok now, we're at 32,000 followers. The comment sections, we have some videos with millions of views. Some of them have thousands of comments. It's impossible to get that. So I don't get the messages sometimes there. On my personal IG, on the same username, it's flooded. So it's literally the worst to be able to keep up with stuff. So that's why now we're using the VNCC Instagram page, because the team is behind the scenes. So I have more than one person answering things. So, when it comes to TikTok, it's me. Right. If it's a Facebook page and stuff that's like if it's something with my name, I'm the one responding to it. You know what I'm saying? So I take that very serious. But the flood that we have gotten from TikTok is a big one. So if you haven't heard back from us, just hit us again, bring it up. Because, again, just look around. It's one of those things where, trust me, we want to make sure we get back to you. But it is hundreds and thousands of messages. It is literally insane behind the scenes. So it's great that we're getting traction, and it's great that we're getting followers. But once we crossed 10,000, it just became a train. It became like a nightmare of messages. It's just like nonstop, just to the point where, like, my phone at one time just locked. So, but as far as Jordan is concerned, send a message again, and we'll go ahead and make sure that we get you rocking and rolling and contacted with you. So Wednesday, we just did orientation this past Wednesday, right? I believe. So this coming Wednesday, we're doing CMP prep. So this Wednesday, we're teaching CMP prep. The information's on our website for the events there. And then following, we're doing orientation. Then we have the 21st with the VA claims crash course that we're doing. And then we're live with our class coming up here in a few. So let's see here. Just making sure we get some of that. So denied plantar fasciitis. So some answers there from Nayeli on that side of the house. So she's looking forward to connecting there. Thanks, Doris, for sharing the live. Just kind of catching up there. I get out in a year, and those statistics are discouraging. And that's why we need you to be aware of those things, because, again, you have to know the terrain that you're dealing with. So just because those are the statistics, they shouldn't be discouraging. It's more getting orientated to the current situation. Because if we know what's going on, then it's like, nah, you're not going to catch me with this nonsense. So it could be discouraging until we have a strategy and a tactic to be able to use that to our leverage, to be able to understand that, look, we already know we have to train for 12 rounds here. So we have to look at this from a military perspective of knowing that there's going to be oppositions, there's going to be some hurdles. It sucks that we're talking about the VA like this, but that's just what it is. So we have to almost look at this the same way we looked at, in service. Just because there's some oppositions and some resistance at certain points, that means nothing. We plow through, go around, call the Air Force, drop some bombs, have the Navy freaking shell and freaking do a thing. Like, come on now. We're going to get through this. So, but it's good you know this now, Thor, as far as being aware of what is happening. So yeah, the workshop information is there, all signed up and ready to visit all Lane. Boom, there it is. So that whole diatribe of information I was going and spewing off was good because Lane is back in the fight. I like it. So I'm going to go ahead and give myself a little hand of applause because there you go. Lane's in it. Let's see here. Just making sure we catch up. Should I worry the VA says they don't need medical appointments for my final claim? It really depends, honestly, as far as what's going on. They may have enough information to be able to make a decision. Now, because they go ahead and say make a decision and they may not need any more medical records, when you get your decision letter back from the VA, whether it's approved or denied, right? It's going to list out all the evidence that was used in there. So you want to make sure that all that information is in there. They may have all the records. Let's say if you're at the VA or you get your care from the VA, they may have that information already there. So let's just say, for argument's sake, that they deny you. Well, that doesn't mean jack. It just means that we just have to look at what was the reason, and we have now the ability to go right back with a high-level review if they just missed something, or maybe something was missing, and we have to look at now potentially a supplemental claim and adding the things that may have been missing. So specifically for you, simply PFE, there's a few things, and again, this is for others as well. We'll touch on this on the class. But one of the things that I guess is good to note is this, right? This is the Kaluza triangle, right? These are the things that are needed, right? And I'll just say this. You have to have all these three things for service connection, right? Not just a diagnosis. You have to be able to showcase how that is connected to service or in-service event or stressor. So this is the stuff that we'll begin to unpack a lot. You see a lot of videos we put out there. But if one of those things is missing, that's kind of a red flag that we can then identify and say, okay, this is what's missing. Now let's double down on that. Let me go back to the other page before Brian throws a book at me for literally starting the January 21st class today. So, because I'll go down this rabbit hole and we'll freaking just go at it. So,
yeah, speaking about the 21st, how is it that they can get to that if they're in TikTok?
On my link, you literally go to the link in my bio. Is the very first link on my link in bio, or my Instagram or YouTube. So those links that are there, you'll be able to see that link right there. And I'll also show you on the website at veteransnetwork.club. But on my link tree, you will see that is the first link on my bio page. Paid somebody to file my claim for me. I have 22 claims. Great. And again, that's fine. But that to me is like, wait a second, 22 things? It depends. There's a lot of reasons why that's kind of like, hence Manele's face, like, wait a second, 22? Like, hold up, it's 22.
Maybe if you're active duty and you're going through the BDD program, maybe. But if you're a veteran, I wouldn't recommend that.
Yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of sit here with this young lady and just kind of 22 it for you right there. But no, it depends, right? So maybe you have enough of an argument for those 22 things, but the reality is just about being concise in what actually matters from a claim perspective of what actually is a high value claim and looking at that. So when we're looking at high value claims, we'll talk about that on the 21st, but you have to understand where the numbers fall. And we also do talk about that at great lengths as far as, what exactly is the breakdown. Brian, I think there's a spider on your shoulder, so just look the other way real quick. Real quickly here, as Brian is not looking, these are just some of the stats that we're going to cover on 21st. As far as this is from the VA specifically looking at how things are broken up. The DP bear is coming out. That's my cue. As far as how things are broken up. So here's one I'll give you. You didn't hear from me, so everybody Brian, look away. How many veterans are out there right now? 19 million. How many are rated? 5 million. Everybody's 100. Incorrect. 900,000 or 18% of the 5 million that are rated. And then there's 894,000, 17% at 10%, and then everybody else. So not everybody's 100. And over here, you'd be surprised where the actual breakdown of the higher value claims come. So some people could talk about the top 10 value claims. We're the ones that talked about it first. So more stuff that we'll talk about on 21st. All right, Brian, you can look back now. Nothing to see here.
I will say, when I was getting out, I want to say that they did 13 claims for me,
Mm-hmm.
and 5. I ended up with 5.
Mm-hmm.
But they tried for, 13. So if they're finding that and they're
Yeah.
trying,
Yeah, but
I think that's somewhat normal when you're first getting out. But yeah,
but
that's a
right
lot.
now, positive vibes for you, simply
Yes.
PFE.
Yep. Yep.
As you go through that again, and this is normal, and that's why I'm bringing it up, right? I'm just nervous that I won't get a fair shot, so I tried to send off. We get that; it's understandable. And again,
Absolutely.
you don't know what you don't know, but at least now you know that hey, if things don't go according to plan, then we can obviously reset, and you at least have the chance to push back as needed. How do you sign up for the class? Link in my bio, book CLB, the very first link that you will see there. So that'll take you to that side. Let's see. It was BDD. Yeah. So being BDD, like I said, it's kind of
Yeah, there
different
you go.
because you're going to have the ability to connect things a little more. Like if you've been out of search like 5, 10, 20 years, whoa now, you know what I mean? That's a whole different situation.
I think that's why we were like, whoa.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah,
So,
'cause yeah.
just some heads up there. And I'll show also how folks can get to a few other things there on the website. So for the website side of the house, let me show y'all again how to find what we're doing. So if you go to our website, you'll find that if you click on the tick mark here to the top, it'll bring the menu down, and then you'll be able to see VA claims classes and the one we have there in the middle, which is the VA claims crash course. You'll see the information there, and it'll tell you all of what the class is about, what we're covering, time, date, sign up, etc. So that information is right there, or the link in my bio. So
And I would say that now is a good time to jump into that because it's going to be an introductory price. We are in January, so I can tell you that low price right now is not going to be the low same price as we progress through the year. So
and this is how you find the link in bio. Literally, you go to my bio, you'll see a
there you
bunch of
go.
videos. This is the funniest one. Like I'm sitting here being a complete jackass, and I'm like, why would this video have 40,000 views of me just looking at you because you're not filing your claim? Like seriously, see that's me right there looking at you as you're playing games. It's go time. Um, and then this video here is upsetting too with the dude crying who talks about just the scheduling
Oh,
piece, which is a whole nother thing. But if you click on the link tree there, it'll take you to this section here, just so people know what it's at. It's literally the very first one that you'll see. So you'll have the VA claims crash course. Because again, the Friday Night Live today, that'll turn off after this show. But the VA claims crash course, click on that, and it'll take you to the Calendly where you'll be able to again see more information, sign up, and do all that good stuff there. All right, let's catch up with some more comments. But that's yeah, just a little bit of things that we're cooking. Let's see. Do 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 do. Steven says, Nayeli, how are you? Wow, old Friday night. Yep. So I'm telling you, we're
So
we're like strategic.
Nally, Steven and I worked together for a while, and it was funny because I actually was looking at some text messages the other day from back when we worked together, like joking around and messing around. It's funny. Yeah,
Hmm.
good to see him here though. Haven't seen him or talked to him for a while, so I'm
Yeah.
glad that you joined us.
Let's see. So we have the link that we shot there. Let's see. Rick said to me, this was like a college course. I didn't know anything with meetings, individual coaching. I was able to get to 100% within 18 months.
Actually, that's a good point
Mhm.
to touch on what he said is that so I'm an instant we were just talking about this before we got on. I'm like an instant gratification person. And so sometimes it can seem daunting to think about like, oh my gosh, I have to do this and then I have to do that and how long is this going to take me? But I will say that um I have quite a few clients that I've worked for even a couple years. I think my longest is 2 years, but starting at 10%, 0%, 20%, then getting to 100%. So to Rick's point, within 18 months, that sort of seems like a long time, but how long did you wait before you actually started the process, right? And so sticking with it, sticking with the right strategy, I can't stress that enough. Going in with the right strategy and not just throwing everything up against the wall to see what sticks is really the key, I think. But stick it out, and that will be you, 100%. And especially if you work with me, because all we do is win.
Oh Lord.
Air Force is the best.
Well, them's the facts. If it was a lie, it'd be a different situation. But we've been doing this for quite a bit. We've been pretty successful. So,
Yes.
it's not bragging if you could back it up, I guess.
Right,
But to
right.
Rick's point, I think that's a very good
Yes.
point.
But it's good to see you. Good to see you, Rick.
100%. Let's see. Talk to these people before you get out, so you know what information you need to get before you get out. Make sure you get a complete copy of medical records before you get out. Again, stomp on the floor. Pay attention. Listen. Especially for the TikTok crew, because we have a lot of people who are transitioning, who are in service still. Again, don't be selfish. Share the information with someone. Again, the whole thing is we want people to make informed decisions. So, and I'll tell you one thing too, being on social for such a long time, it's amazing, Brian, that we literally have the ability finally to do this across all the platforms that we're on. Instagram acting kind of hinky, but that's not either here or there. But it's cool because you have different demographics in different places. So like the Facebook crew, the YouTube crew, the TikTok crew, and we're seeing everything. We're seeing people who are in service, transitioning. On other platforms, we have folks that have been out for a while. And if you think about it, the fact that Capri is saying something that someone on TikTok, right, is listening to because of our platform, who's still in service, that to me is like what it's all about. Because it's like, why would you want to do this stuff? Because the fact of the matter is, I need someone on TikTok who's not, well, I'm not on Facebook anymore. I'm not on you. Okay, that's fine. But you need to hear this one. Like, you need to read this point. And I think being able to kind of marry up all these different platforms, to me, I think is really cool. So,
because it's really pretty interesting. I mean, I did not know how many active duty, about to transition out, we're out there looking for this help. I mean, obviously, that they're out there, but until TikTok really kind of took off, it's like, man, that's where they're hanging out. Mm-hmm. the young crowd's in there.
Yeah, no, it's definitely refreshing. Catch up on someone here, some of the comments here. Let's see, temporary findings and so forth. Real paper push. Stephen's point again. That's a big one. Get to the doctor. These are the things that we constantly push. Again, we understand you didn't, but now it's a time to do those things. So helping veterans understand that's a big one there. Thanks for the likes. Thanks for the follows. Thanks for the shares. Thanks for all those two amazing things that have happened. Really looking forward to what's about to come here as we move down the road, to Colorado. So I don't know what this is here. What is on my screen? There's nothing to see here, people.
Medic.
That is not funny.
I don't know what are you feeling some kind of ways about?
Oh my God.
Let's see. Can you hear that?
I'll fight it. Oh. Yes. I'm gonna move my phone.
Wow, really?
Let me get a quick zoom.
MRA react.
The best part is we're literally sitting next to each other. So this is us in Colorado 2 years ago. Literally, we're sitting next to each other. That's the part that has to be made known. Amy's trying to MRE for the first time.
I'm literally trying not to throw up. I'm trying. See, and he zoomed in on me, and I'm trying to breathe through this process.
We are changing the call out. If there is a medic out there, please just make notes. And Capri was commenting.
Yep, you can see Capri commenting. Okay, that's enough.
Capri.
It's Capri.
Capri.
Someone said first claim IBS, then go for German. This is how Emmy got rated for IBS.
Yeah. One more bite.
What? Is it gonna be like a real bite? Because you did like a bullshit bite. That concurrence was the sun. And there's a whole bunch of people in front of us watching this, mind you. That's
Yes.
what her point was.
Yes.
Look at Brian with the bag.
Yeah, but Brian was like handed me the bag. Like Brian, did you think I was gonna throw up? You're like,
It was
You're literally
like-
sweating at this point.
That's not gonna help.
I mean, the sweat that was coming, it was all the.
You see how supportive? You see how supportive they
Don't
are?
look at that thing
He's like,
was,
yeah, that's not gonna help. That's not
The
gonna help.
package was a little bloated. You know how that gets whenever it's aged a little too long?
Package 75. John remembers it. Here we go.
Oh yeah, man, you don't. I've opened up bad sea rats before. You don't want to do that.
All right, I'm done. Oh my god.
Now imagine this is all you have to eat
There it is.
for many days on end. The great thing is you can do a swap thing. So
That's the part.
did y'all catch that? Look at that. Look at the face. Oh my god.
Now she can swap for some chili.
Yeah, like this. Look at the face.
That's the part. That's the part I was waiting for. It's that little.
Did y'all catch that? Look at that. Look at the face. Oh my god.
Now she can swap for some chili.
Yeah, look at that. Look at the face. Oh my god. So,
In case you got.
did y'all catch that? Look at that. Look at the face.
Oh Lord. So that was our last foray to Colorado, where there was abuse going on with MREs. And the thing about it is, yes, there was literally a whole bunch of people sitting in front of us eating just regular food, just watching us, as we're doing all
Pacing
this.
back and forth, dipping their chicken wings in the hot sauce. Laughing while I'm trying to suck the MRE out of the bag, like Capri says.
Yep. And me and Brian, and after that, just went to town. I was like, man, we'll pass that over. Let's go ahead and start trading.
Yeah,
stuff.
they did. That was funny. I was like,
It was a whole party. But she didn't burn the house down, so there's that part. So that was
and
great.
I did not throw up. So
No,
there's that
no.
part.
LB's in the building. What's going on? Very informative show tonight,
right,
ladies and
yes.
gentlemen. Shared it with my son, Army 97 to 02, and coming at us from the Philippines over as Angeles
Nice.
Cities. And this is something cool too. Amy, talk to me a little bit about. I won't tell you the name, but one of your vets that you have who finally brought his son, and I think that's a very powerful story, just from the perspective of. Again, I talked about like my mother-in-law, my brother-in-law, family members. Like, this is a very unique situation that we do. I'm literally waiting for my sister to literally barge in because she's on the way from New York up. But specifically to the fact of even veterans are coming, it's like, hey, I just shared this with my son, or my, like they don't want to talk, or I know they're going through something, but I can't get through them. And it's one of those things of like saying, hey, let's just try to at least create a place that they can come and just listen and be a part of this. You know what I'm saying? Talk to me about your vet and him, kind of showing up, family members, saw you since you were a kid, and then, to the point of him bringing his son as well.
Yep. So I've known him since I was probably in diapers. He worked with my dad and just a really great family friend, and he sort of navigating like his claim and his he was trying to encourage his son to come for a very long time, and it was just one of those things where his son hasn't really talked about it or hasn't really opened up about it, but definitely in a career field that is a tough career field to be in. His son was, and did a couple tough deployments, I think. I actually haven't talked to his son. I mean, I knew him when I was growing up, but I haven't talked to him about his claim or anything. And so he's been trying to like slowly talk to him and encourage him to come and just listen to a class, like just try it out and just be, open to the idea of seeing, what he could get. But I think it's one of those things that sometimes when, you go through some tough stuff on deployments, and sometimes you come back without people that you went with, and you have to see some really tough stuff. And I think when you get out and you think you're putting that behind you, it doesn't really ever go away. But the last thing you want to do is talk about why you got out and why you don't want to have anything to do with the military anymore because, of what it's done. So I think, some people shutting down is sort of what they think is going to be best for them. And in all reality, we talked a little bit about this on Wednesday. I think that, that trying to avoid opening that can of worms, but I think that can of worms is actually already open, and
Mm-hmm.
you're just it's actually there. Like you think that you're not talking about it, and you think that you're not dealing with it, but actually you are, when you want to go by yourself fishing and not be around people, or you don't want to be around crowds, or you don't want to go to that air show because you've had to pull people out or try to pull people out, or whatever the case may be. And so I think, to some of these, and I've had a couple people, actually I can think of 5 people right now that have brought their kids. They've
Mm-hmm.
come and now they've brought their kids that are out. And so I actually just talked to one today that, was a former client. Both her and her husband got to 100%. And now her son, working with their son. And it's just, it's being open to the opportunities, in the, understanding, what we've been saying all night. You don't know what you don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's sort of, just, it's a process, I guess. And just, so in this situation, he did come. He said, hey, he's willing to come to class if you're willing to share the link. And so he came, and I was very thankful, and he stayed on the whole time. And so we'll see what happens. But, definitely one of those situations where, he deserves to, be rated, I think. I mean, everybody that serves deserves to be rated, but yeah, definitely. I think, hopefully good things will come from that situation. But it's cool to see that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's kind of funny to see how many um, parents bring their kids,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like trying to, the one that I talked to today was like, I felt like, just get off my back. You're momming me. You're momming me. You're momming me. And he was like, I never would have thought about this. I never would have thought that I could, that all of these things could be something that I could get connected for. I thought she was just doing the mom thing, like, just go, just go, just go. And so hopefully good things will come for him too. But
Mm-hmm. Lane says on TikTok, I'll share as much as possible. I've been off social since 2010, just got back on, TikTok. So, again, glad that you were able to meet with us here.
yes,
Griff says, I got 2 back, says it's deferred. What does this mean? Means basically when a claim gets deferred, let's say they decide on something, but they still need to do more work, so they're not going to hold everything up. They have enough to decide on the first 2 things, and they're just going to keep working the others instead of having you wait that whole time. So at least you get an increase now. So there's that part. Someone said thanks. This is more information that's been given to me. So I'm glad that was something that was also useful to you there. I want to also bring this up. Let me know if you hear it, Brian. This is our show. This is from one of our folks behind the scene. How he put together this. It's amazing. So this is one of the videos that we'll put up, but I think it's pretty sweet, so I wanted to show it.
Yeah, no, that's fire.
There it is, Crash Course, 21st. Be there. Save the date. Show up. All right, so showing one of our videos there. So let me go ahead and jump back.
If
on
you're not
this
100%
side.
already, you need it.
That part.
There you go.
Let's see here. All right, so we've covered that. We have the link to, again, on my link tree is the information for that. We just showed you the video there on that side of the house. Capri made a point to remind you that you have to suck it out the damn bag, fly girl. So there's that part. Let's see. Capri says, man, I missed after hours. Those were the best. And they're coming back with a whole flash bang.
yes,
So,
yes. And I
and we
did
have
send you
batteries.
the I had to crop it to keep the privacy of the person's name, but I did send you the message of the client that said that they saw me with my microphone.
Oh, Lord. You sent it to me?
I did.
Yeah.
Oh, hold on there. Let me see what. So you made a point to send us, but you also you cropped it and hit it.
No, I cropped it so you can't see the name of the
Oh, okay,
client.
so I can't ban them. Let me see what here. I watched last night, saw the microphone. You're funny. I needed to laugh. It motivated me to start my statement. I hope to have something for you to review by this week. Enjoy the weekend. You gave me hope this week. It felt good to be in a space with veterans. I don't know about
So
that.
this, yes.
Microphone. First of all, the only microphone that works is my microphone. Yours doesn't even work.
Because Brian has my batteries to my microphone.
It's been 3 years.
Oh, I thought I had shipped that, so I'm sorry.
Whoops. We'll catch you in Colorado. But just to kind of recap as we begin to shut it down, because my service dog is losing his mind because my sister just got here. So we heard the bark in the background. That was Legend saying, "Who's here pulling up in the driveway?" My sister. But the biggest thing we wanted to make sure, again, it's a new year. We're doing a lot of new things. It's been actually amazing to see Steven, to see Rick, to see the OGs, Dennis, the whole crowd, Capri, folks, on the TikTok side of the house, and just seeing everything that's kind of how it's been coming together. I think has been pretty amazing to see some of new faces, old faces, folks that remember us from way back when it was just us, on Zoom, and now we're literally leveraging multiple platforms. So we're currently live in YouTube, in our Facebook group, in our Facebook page, on Twitter, on YouTube, and on TikTok. So it is amazing. TikTok crew, I forgot to tell you, if you hit the bottom right button, it kind of landscapes it for you. So whoops, still figuring that out there. But you can actually make it like full screen. So there's that. But we wanted to make sure, again, talking about what we're doing, what we're looking forward to. We want to take you all along with us on this journey. So there's that part. But the course that we have coming up, again, we're really excited for it. There's just a lot of value to give. And again, we do this, but the fact of the matter is I can sit here and answer all your questions so I'm blue in the face. You need more than just someone just answering a question you type, because I have to ask you something. I have to be able to say, okay, wait a second, talk to me back through this. Like, nope, that doesn't make sense. I think you think you know what you're saying, but trust me, you get into a Zoom and an actual conversation with us, you'll find out very quickly how much you don't know about something, because I can't press you. I can't push you on certain things. Like, give me the elevator speech. And I've done this, you know what I mean? So part of the whole crash course thing, I've been jumping into meetings. We do groups. I've been jumping into meetings with like Amy and Brian when they're talking to, to veterans kind of one-on-one, and I'll just jump in. I've talked to people on TikTok one-on-one, just jump into Zoom. And the crash course concept was really one of those things of like, you've heard me talk a lot about this, but it's like, hey, you always can agree with the teacher when he's on the, teaching. But when I put you to the board and say, okay, now you tell me what you're going to say. Now you tell me what you're thinking, everything changes. And that's where it's just like, okay, well, that sounded cute, but guess what? Based off what you just told me, I would deny you too. Like, well, what do you mean? Because you said nothing. Literally, what you said was this, boom, 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 and that gets you nothing. You were trying to say this, but you did not say that thing. So you'd be surprised how much you don't know. So it's like boxing, right? You're watching me all day. It's like, man, I'm good too. No, you're not. Jump in the ring. I'll exploit your weaknesses very quickly. So it's one of those things where I can tell you off a conversation, like, so what do you think you're doing? Nope, not going to happen. You're going to get denied. It's like, how would you say that? Because we do this.
I'm sorry, but that's one of the things that I think is really going to be so effective with the workshop is it's going to be interactive. It's not going to be set back and let somebody lecture to you and you're off playing solitaire or chatting on Facebook or watching dancing bears on TikTok while the class is going on. This is going to have a workbook. You're going to come out, if you're doing the work, you're going to come out of that class on the other side.
How far along are we with the workbook, though? That's literally the last touches we're doing now. Where are we? Are we 80% there? Are we 90?
Well, I think we were 99, and then I think Nayeli just mentioned something to take us back to 75. But
okay, we'll be 100% by the 21st. But we're literally, and even then, and I'm saying that because it's funny, but the fact that we've literally been going back and forth, because the way Brian learns is one way, the way Nayeli learns is another way. And the fact is, the whole point is, if people are going to come to a workshop, I want you to walk away with something that is a workbook, hence the name. Words mean things. We do lives, we do classes. This is a workshop. You're going to work. You're going to have materials. You're going to have a workbook. And if you have a workbook, you're going to have to be able to walk away from the workshop with a plan of action. But some people learn differently. So the way that Brian learns, the way that I learn, they're kind of different. So I want to make sure that we're capturing all that. So some people like to doodle and want to see, a diagram of kind of where I'm at and map it this way. Brian wants to see lines and write a thing in. Amy wants a prompt. However you learn, we want to make sure that we include all that in there. So it sounds great until we're literally sitting here in Zoom for like 2 hours trying to figure out, okay, fine, do it this way. And then Chris is like, all right, I'm going to edit it. So it's like a whole process, but it's all happening because we want to create the best workbook for our veterans that's better than stuff. Like I showed you our PDFs. There's nothing out there that is a PDF that talks about GERD, that breaks down what GERD is, talks about the impact, then gives you the rating criteria, and then gives you what exactly is it that you are going to be paid at those price points. So again, it's one of those things where people may not, appreciate the detail that goes into things, but all those little things are intentional. Because if I'm giving you a document and you never filed a claim, okay, I have migraines. Well, I can go for 50%, but what does that even pay? And someone's going to say, well, just look it up, Google it. Stop being lazy. Put it all in the same goddamn document. If I can show you what migraines is and I can show you the rating criteria, then just put the damn price point of what 50% pays a month. Like, that's just the way I see the world. You know what I'm saying?
And see, this is what's frustrating to me for all of those vets who do not know about the support that we're providing is they're going to go through the same type of experience that I went through whenever I was trying to start that VA claims journey, going to a VSO who's accredited, which means crap, quite frankly, because accreditation is just a test. And I go to these qualified or accredited VSOs from a big national organization. And what do I get? Here's a couple of forms, go have it filled up, and then you'll submit your claim. Man, that did not help me with jack squat. And I was more frustrated than ever. And that's the maximum kind of help I received. So that's why my mission is even more so than last year is to continue to ramp up the calling for vets to get the support they need, because there's no greater joy for me right now from a veteran support standpoint is whenever they get that rating and they know that they're done with that journey. And hey, guess what? You're done with it. You don't have to fight that system anymore. Man, that's the satisfaction right there.
100%. So look at this, right? MST. Let's break it down, right? Let's look at the fact that it's not just, hey, you have an ebook, but the PDF is literally breaking down statistics, information. We're looking at personal impact. We're looking at professional impacts, the rating criteria. Again, what does that rating criteria mean, monthly speaking, if you get rated and so forth? So having this information is key because, again, it's a one-stop shop of having that in there. Or if we're looking at, something like migraines, right? Well, what kind of migraines are you having? What is a migraine? How does that break out? So understanding how the impacts are there, types of migraines, how it's rated. Look, see what I'm saying? Like, look at that. And then the rating criteria, and then what it actually pays you out a month. So the whole point is like that level of detail, it's very intentional because other people are not doing it that way. And we're doing it that way because we want to create the best experience and create the best products for our vets. Which is,
first.
well, exactly. Which is what, you see here on the TikTok side of the house. We bring up here the comments where Nayeli actually said something. So I'll make a point to say that, which is specifically, we want the best for our vets. So, that's really what it comes down to, right? We want the best workbook for our veterans, and we make a point to bicker and fight and do all that stuff. We got damn Poke in the building. What's up, guys, ladies? Have my psych eval on Monday. Yeah. So you are good to go. Amy is rocking and rolling with you, so you are good. But yeah, so as we begin to close it down, Brian, give us some closing thoughts as we kick off 2023 with our first FNL.
Man, I don't know what to say. There's nothing going on. What am I saying? The workshop. I mean, that's the 21st. I want to see everybody that's still not 100%. If you're still working on your claims, jump in that workshop. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be action packed. I call it action packed because we're not sitting on our hands. So yeah, I mean, I'm done. I'm done with this accreditation baloney. I've got accreditations or certifications too. That doesn't mean that I'm better than this other person over here that has actual experience in doing something. So Um, yeah. So my mission for 2023 is to just continue to amp up, focus on fellow vets who are fighting the fight and helping them get through that. Gosh, I mean, we all could be doing something that if this was about making bunch of money, we could go out and win the lottery or work for some high price firm. But no, we're here. Our passion is our calling, and that's the veteran community, and dealing with vets who are not vets yet because they're waiting to transition, and that's a scary enough experience. Transitioning from service to civilian, but then vets who've waited decades. And not realizing that they could get the kind of help that they can get, or that they could get the benefits that they could get. Man, there's a lot to do. We're going to continue to ramp up and level up the type of service that we provide. So it's a continuous effort on our part. So just stay tuned, stay engaged, and plug in. And the other thing I want to say is that, Amy talked about family members who are referring to family members. That is so cool whenever I see that. I've had, in fact, this one guy that I helped, he referred a brother, that brother referred another brother. And then it's like, how many brothers do you guys have? But, it's seeing family members or friends. It's like, man, I can't believe the joy that they had.
Everyone
They
straight. She
couldn't
says she
wait to
has some
express
very
that.
monotone crap. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So spread the love.
Mm-hmm.
100%. Got some questions that we'll get to here in a second as we're kind of, let me see here, just to catch up. Um, let's see. Diagnosed with sleep apnea, chronic migraines, chronic low back pain, carpal tunnel. So Jordan, on your side now, you have the diagnosis. That's the first part. Now the conversation moves into the service connection side. How you connect it back to service. So that's what we're going to be unpacking on the 21st. Again, we're not just making a point to pitch it. It's because it's a lot, because I'm not going to put your whole, your situation out there on on social. So there's a lot to unpack. But that's one of those things for sure where, I'd say, hey, check out, reach out, send a message, and, one of our crew will talk to you because some things, obviously are going to be more private and we want to put it out there. But that's one part there. As far as you have the diagnosis, now we start looking at how you connect it back to service and what's needed there. James says, I got diagnosed in medical records and headaches. What do I do now? This is what you guys told me to get last time, a diagnosis, and I got it. Okay, great. You got a diagnosis. Next part now is how do we connect it back to service? So again, even on that point, Jamie, I'd encourage you to join us on the 21st of January. Literally jump into the crash course because, you're doing the first part, but you're asking for the next part. The information is free, but you want the implementation. Well, come on now, jump in and come and learn. Like, it's going to be more than just typing you a thing because guess what? Okay, fine. Now go write a buddy letter and get a nexus letter and put it together and file your claim. And guess what? You're probably still going to get denied. Right? There's a little bit more that's needed to that. So the first stop is there. The first part is there. But as far as having the records, that's major. But now how do we connect it back to service? That's what might be needed, right? Do you need a nexus letter? Do you have enough to be able to do that? I'd have to ask you a few questions to really get to the bottom of that. And that's not something I'm going to do on live. So, that's where it's like kind of like, hey, we've shown we can get you to a place, but some questions, some things like that are getting more personal. It should be offline just because we want to make sure we don't put your business out there. That's just the way I look at it. Amy, on your side, what are some of your closing thoughts?
Well, I think you guys covered pretty much everything. Brian did a good recap of what's to come and joining us on the 21st. So I would say, just be there for, the heaviest thing to pick up is a phone. So phone a vet and, check on your strong friends and remember to give people grace that are going through some things. If you realize that they're not themselves or maybe just not themselves, like reach out to them, be there for one another. Sometimes the holidays are tough, and sometimes every day is tough. So you never know when those days are going to come where they really need somebody to reach out to them and just say, "How are you doing?" So I think that that's really important. There's a lot of people going through a lot of things, and sometimes I think we get sort of consumed with what we're going through ourselves, and we forget about those people around us that are I think I've said this before, but I'll say it again, but the brown paper bag analogy, where you think you have it tough and you're going through the week like, God, my week is whatever, and I can't get a break, and I'm feeling overwhelmed, and I get blah 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 blah, all these things, and this happened and that happened, and you write down on a brown paper bag all the things that you're going through. And if you put it in the middle of the table and you took somebody else's brown paper bag and you read what they were going through, chances are you would want your brown paper bag back. And I think that that's something that's really important to think about, is that yes, we are all going through things, but that's the point, is we are all going through things. And so just having grace and being supportive of one another is important.
100%. BNCC swag shop on the way.
I love that. Yeah, I'm like, I want to get myself one of those sweatshirts.
We're gonna square you away. You'll be squared. As we kind of on my side of the house, one of the biggest things again is being able to hold space and spend time with you all as we do what we do, how we do. I think that's amazing, and I think just having everybody join us for the journey. We have Steven said he made it to YouTube, so he is on YouTube. So he has made it over. This is what's cool about doing this thing. Also, you said something?
I said nice.
Yeah,
nice.
He made it over, so he's on the YouTube side. See, we're migrating, we're growing. But one of the cool things that I get to do also is work behind the scenes with some amazing people, and I get to share literally how we sometimes have some of these bloopers. So this is literally me and Brian behind the scenes recording stuff here randomly behind the scenes. So I will leave you with some of these things that you won't see posted sometimes. I read one straight just so she has a very mom. I'm speaking specifically about Nayeli, who's in the comment section answering questions because he's our social media manager. So here I am doing the work that I'm supposed to be assigned that I've been putting off for a few days. And the part that's like, we just do one full, recording. So this is us, I guess, being hard-headed. I read one straight just so she has a very monotone crap.
Hey, are you tired?
Take the first steps towards getting the benefits you deserve. Blah, blah, blah. You've been doing for a while, which is running in circles. Bloop, bloop.
Boom. See you there.
Good. That
I'll
is
let you know about our there we go.
I read one straight. That's Brian's talking about the webinar coming up.
There we go.
I read one straight. The workshop. So
about our
Right.
So that's a little bit of what happens behind the scenes. It is
That's funny.
a whole mess. Apparently, Nayeli's not too happy. She has a whole bunch of emojis and stuff. So we did knock out the videos. It just happened to be a whole lot of like, fine, let me read the prompt. Welcome everybody. Sign up for the class on the 21st so you can learn and be amazing and win your claim. Pew, 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 pew. Oh man, look, I'd be remiss to not say this. We got Dean in the building. Again, I always make a point to shout him out, specifically because of the fact that, again, we would not be doing this literally had it not been for someone saying, hey, you should probably go and do this on the social. And I'm like, oh, blah, blah, blah. And so I met Dean over a year ago, and he was like, you should probably get on the TikTok and do something, right? So he's there behind Amy right there. So you see him right there, Dean. on that side saying, "Yo, this setup is amazing." So we finally got our stream key, Dean. So we're literally now on Facebook and YouTube and TikTok. But I gotta shout out Dean because he made we had a conversation. We're doing a crypto thing, and we're in Florida. We're talking stuff, and he's like, "So what do you do?" I'm like, "Oh, claims and talking about stuff." And he's just like, "Man, that's amazing. You should probably." Like put content out. I'm like, dude, I'm not dancing and doing all that crap. Like, so he's like, well, what's your social media stuff? I'm like, none of that. Well, fun fact, he literally is from that world and he's, supported people, managed people. He understands these type of things. And it's funny because literally it's like my whole thing to him is like, look, I don't like this whole thing of how, people are out there. They don't know what the hell they're talking about. And I'm not going to play the game. Like, to me, it's dumb. You know what I mean? Like, it's not for me. And he's like, the problem is because people like you won't show up, then people that don't know what they're talking about show up and get the attention. But if you would just show up and play the game and just, do the work, you'd be surprised. And I'm like, fine, I'll give it a try, Dean. Next thing you know, we go through this whole process of Dean reaching out to me for a few months, right? So this is like an early last year conversation. And of course, I didn't do it. So I'm like, yeah, I'm going to get to it, Dean. Sure. Dean makes a point to tell me like, hey, have you tried? Have you started? I'm like, fine, I'll do some videos and I'll just talk. And ain't nobody paying attention to my dumb ass. So we get out there and do it. And the point at hand is before, it, a video takes off and one thing happens. We go from like a few hundred followers, which by the way, Dean, fun fact, my youngest daughter has reclaimed the fact that she's the one that got me on TikTok, but then you helped me to continue and push into TikTok. So she wants her creds of putting me onto TikTok first when it was Musically. But the point is we showed up. And I think it's one of those things where like, it's the algorithm. Like right now we have who's watching on TikTok, but the fact is simply that, we have to keep showing up. And the fact is that Lane showed up today. A few other people are here. We've helped people who are answering stuff. We have folks from before who are watching us. And now we're at 32,000 followers on TikTok, which is insane to me. Literally one of those things where it's like I can't even keep up with the amount of flow that's coming. But, just showing up and doing something. And again, we're working against the algorithm to a degree because, I'm not sitting here doing a video about make me laugh and I'll talk. Or I'm sleeping and wake me up. Or I'm not thirst trapping here with Brian showing our feet. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're not playing those games. So it's an entertainment app. So I'll make videos that'll poke fun at things and it works. But I always, make a point to say, for me at least, if anybody knows me, I'm big on, and there's this DP bear, which we do have. So it's funny, this whole thing came about. So there's like a DP bear that came up at one time. And then we actually have a Joe bear because apparently, people need to know that. So DP actually has a better half. So it's DP and Joe. So there's that part.
That's so cute.
So, but I say that to say that, I'm really grateful, for the support and the push and, Dean just sticking in there and saying, hey, just try it, just do it, and we've done it. And at this point now, you can't put the cat back in the bag. So I'm excited to share that, but hopefully also inspire somebody else to do something, to try something, because I'm just doing what I do. And over time, consistency showing up, it's paid dividends compared to where we're at now. And we're just getting started. And now we can do this to this level. So Dean, we got the stream key. And now we can multi-stream into different places. So that's like a whole great thing now. And we're answering questions. We're helping veterans. We're doing stuff. We have our workshop coming up on the 21st, which is on my Linktree bio. But it's just amazing to do that. So I'm big on loyalty. I'm big on showcasing that. Hence why we have people who've been with us from way back when, Capri, literally, our OG, crew from way back when. So being able to highlight that is key. Because it is a team effort. It's not something that's one person. So it's never, DP has a page because DP is a thing. No. It took someone like Dean saying, you need to do this. And it might be uncomfortable, but I'll give you guys the hack, right? Talking to Dean, what really kind of made it click for me was as cringy as, doing certain things may be as far as like playing up to the algorithm, whatever. I had to look at it from the perspective of like, okay, I'll make a video. And like I showed, on, what was it on my TikTok page? There's one video of me with my arms crossed, which is crazy. It's at 40,000 views. I still can't get over the fact that literally, all that happened. But the example that I want to give everyone here, right, taking you back to the page, is, here we are, and I'll put some stuff that's kind of like me, the way I look at stuff, and The Office and Steve Brule, etc. But the point is, I'll sit there and do a video where I'm just, crossed arm saying the thing or whatever. If you know me, it's what I would have said anyway. But I'll put myself in a situation where I may be a little uncomfortable, or might be out of my comfort range if it helps someone. Because at the end of the day, I didn't die. No one shot at me. I made a video. It was kind of whatever. It could be cringy to someone else. But if it's what it takes to make sure that now we have conversation, then that's the key. Because what people don't see is it's not about the views. I don't care about that. It's that while it may be 43,000 views, look at the amount of comments. Like, look at the conversations that are happening. And literally, it's me. I'm the one responding back. I'm the one answering questions, and the team as well. So the fact that this is what's happening, it's worth it. So that's one of the things that I really just at least want to highlight and be appreciative that it's a team effort that got us to this point. And I'm really just, in awe that we were able to do this. So we're still going to be growing. We're going to try new things and try to meet veterans where they're at. But hey, if you're on TikTok, we're going to find you. If you're on YouTube, we're going to find you. If you're on Facebook, we're going to find you. We're going to show up to where our veterans are and give them the information they need to help them solve the problem that they're ignoring. Because the fact is, no one ever who's in a situation or has a problem has sat there and said, you know what, Brian, I'm going to call the VA for help. No, the VA screwed me. I'm not going to call them. I'm on TikTok wasting time avoiding my responsibilities. So guess what? I found you on TikTok. Throat punch. Time to file a claim. Don't quit, Lane. We're still here. And that's really the whole thing. So all that to give flowers, to Dean, because, again, it takes, again, like Lisa Chaser, people that have been around and helped us. And it's like you don't even know, but they're part of the team, whether they know it or not. They're part of the moving mechanism. So I appreciate you, my brother, because, again,
Yes, I like his message. I'm so happy you stuck with us with this and keep on helping people.
Yeah. And now we're tiki-talkies, so there's that part.
Now he's telling you to do more things, so now you got to do more.
Why did I crap? Let me change this crap.
He's the expert.
I need you to cross posting clips of all platforms and bring the message. Nayeli, please do not get in contact with Dean.
I know. I think Nayeli messaged him and told him.
Oh Lord, Lee, what have I done? This thing went completely sideways. I was giving props and I just ended up putting myself out there. Now it's like, well, you talked all that. You need to go ahead and start doing them.
Nayeli's like, well, if he's gonna listen to Dean, then let me just tell Dean what to tell him to do. No.
My computer froze. But no, for sure. So there it is. Amy is the new character unlocked. There you go. I'm telling you. So, and that's what's cool about now because we can do it this way, even with a stream key. I can bring Amy. I can bring Brian because Amy, she ain't never on TikTok. So I have to drag her this way. She's like, where are we now? I'm like, we're on TikTok.
Yeah.
So
I can't keep up.
But it's amazing. So I'm really, really excited. For sure, Dean, we got to link up. Because, again, that's like part of the even Colorado coming up. That's, our big strategy session, getting together as we start planning for the new year. So a lot of things for sure. Your daughter needs to secretly message me her agendas. I'll tell you, she's literally behind the scenes doing stuff. So, everybody has to play their role.
Probably blow me out of the water times 10 on any social media, doing anything on the computer or social media.
100%. 100%. Nayeli says, yeah, because he doesn't listen to me. Well, you saw me literally show you the video of me ignoring you, so there's that part. You know what I mean? But for sure. There's a lot of cool things we're doing. I think you should get her a new phone to support the movement.
Didn't she buy herself her own new phone?
Yeah, she was like, I have my own funds, and I'm going to go ahead and do a thing. So there's a whole other thing going on there. But one thing for sure that I will say that I'm looking forward to this year is my, things that I'm excited about is we're going to be doing things with the Big Three as well. So the season's kicking back up. They actually sent me a signed little basketball. So anybody that knows me knows that I am by far not the most sporty person, but this is signed by the entire team and Ice Cube and all these people from the Big Three. So that's amazing.
Oh, nice.
So they sent this, and I'm going to put it in a case and have it in case and all that. But this is from the Big Three. And again, whether or not you know or care about NFTs is irrelevant. The fact is the Big Three is a great organization. We took veterans there last year. It's a safe place. And because we have fractional ownership via our NFT, we are able to send veterans to these games. So they're going to have games across the country. As that comes up online, we're going to be sending veterans. Last year, we had a whole bunch of instances of taking veterans to games and spending time together. And I think that's something that we're going to continue to do. So as that season kind of kicks back in, I'm excited for that. But sharing some of the things that we're doing behind the scenes for our vets as we kind of proceed and go forward. So stay tuned for a lot of that. But again, head on over, follow us. If you're not following us, veteransnetwork.club is the website. You'll know you're there because you'll see a bunch of avatars and people, and get to know us. Join the movement, because this is what it's all about. Stephen Vinoy, the crew, everybody who's been here with us. Again, it's just been amazing to kind of have, again, a bit of the old, a bit of the new, a bit of everything mixed in between. Even Sharma Warriors in the building. Good seeing you as well on the TikTok side. So that is all I have on that side. We love, obviously, spending time with you all. If you're not following, make sure you're following. Hit the bell, because we go live randomly in different ways. What I will say is that we'd like to schedule things, but the way that me and Brian's IBS is set up, sometimes we have to.
Yeah, I was gonna say, when he says, that randomly.
Yeah,
Could be 12 o'clock at night, could be 1 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, whatever.
Hey, we're gonna show up.
Somebody's up.
If they do
It's like
episodes
Motel
by
6. Just leave the light on, because you don't know when we'll pop in.
Yes.
Thanks everybody for the likes, again, for the shares.
Yes.
Stephen Vinoy, Capri, and team, everybody on YouTube, everybody on Facebook, everybody on the TikTok side of the house. Dean's Point, I think you should get her on your phone. Yes, she's the boss. Yes, don't say that too loud. That is amazing for sure. But again, this is the crew behind the scenes. I always make a point to showcase it because it has to be said, but you may see me on the page and whatnot, but it's these amazing people behind the scenes and more that make it happen every day. Brian, Amy, Sinsu on the back end, Maria, Hiram, Miranda, Reggie, Vernon, Lisa, Mark, Chris, the admin crew, KB, Rachel. It's literally an entire movement. Carol, we with our administrative assistants, Lincoln helping make sure that obviously Lisa keeps her head together, and Legend obviously making sure that I don't drive him too crazy on that side of the house. So it's amazing to see kind of where we're at and being able to showcase this as we move forward. So a lot of more cool things coming, personal dev, business dev. But as we wrap and we close, we appreciate you. It's 2023. We're off to great new things, and we'd love for you to be a part of the journey with us. We appreciate y'all. Thank you,
Yes.
good people.
Thank you for joining.
Yeah.
Good night.
Brian's shoulder.
There it is. That's the service connected shoulder.
It's where the